Welcome into the Boise State Esports channel, and we have a good one on our hands, and you know that just from the faces that are on your screen. It is Michael Fish Fisher as your host, but it's Doc joining me tonight for the cast. It's been a while. I've never seen it, Doc. I've never seen you on the desk, so I'm excited.
Never ever? Oh my gosh.
Never ever.
Well,
never ever. I'm so excited. We've got 2 Overwatch games coming up tonight, and then I think we've got something special tuned up at the very, very end that you want to make sure you stay tuned for. But I'm excited for some Overwatch. I know we've had some bits and pieces, some tournaments here and there, and Boise State maybe hasn't fared as well as they had hoped in some of those, but it's always nice to have a show match to go along with whoever we're playing. As you can see there, the Overwatch NACE Spring Rules Best of 3. There's your bands right there: Ryan, McCree, Widow, Echo, and Brig. Loser picks, Escort, and Hybrid, and it's varsity NACE schools only. Those bans are very interesting to me, Doc. The Ryan being taken away especially something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff that's really interesting to try to prevent people from establishing just a straight meta, right? And I think it's really interesting. The way that League of Legends does it, and you know this better than anybody, is that they try to change the meta by strengthening or weakening certain heroes, right? Well, the problem is those are constantly in a state of flux. You don't necessarily get to enjoy everything about those characters. You know, they're constantly being reworked, which is a little bit weird, right? A little bit. So, yeah, this will be fun. Ryan's all right. We like Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely sort of established himself as the go-to tank after the Orisa Sig nerfs to all the shields. Of course, I have no problems with the McCree ban. That means I won't see any Deadeyes. Widowmaker has a nice place in the meta. Echo, of course, the new hero who we have not seen yet. Sort of that 2-week window where a champion is released and they just sort of say, you're not going to let her play in competitive. Let's flush out everything, make sure she's okay. And then Brig being taken away. And Brig's not a support we really see very often. She's almost a, oh, my main's banned away, let's play Brig. So I think Ryan and McCree are going to be the 2 we'll notice tonight. McCree, as much as I hate him, does a ton of damage, and he has that hit scan. So we might see some Pharahs reign supreme tonight if a team wants to pull it off without the McCree or the Widowmaker available to shoot her right out of the sky.
We've seen the Pharah quite a bit recently in scrims. People really breaking her out again and trying to do some fun stuff with her. And it's made a big difference. I mean, it's definitely something I think we're going to see tonight. I know we've been working on it. Other folks have been working on it as well. We'll see what we get tonight. I think there's a pretty good chance that we'll see some of that.
Yeah, and I am always excited for the loser picks. I know we've had some tournaments where maps are predetermined, which is nice. It does sort of speed things along just a little bit because there's not that downtime. But I always like seeing loser picks. I know I don't want to say I'm rooting for a Boise State loss, but Boise State, I know especially, they don't practice the typical Kings Row, so they usually come out with some crazy maps. So it is always fun to see the loser pick strategy.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit different this time because we're not going to see the hybrid as the second map. Only if you go to the third map will we see potentially a hybrid map.
So let's see as we hop in here to control. Boise State taking on Central Oklahoma here. Boise State going to try and engage in the mid as we see a couple of shields going out. Icy taking a ton of damage, but Boise State going to get the first 2 eliminations. Make that 3 and 4 going to go down as well. Hell, let's make it 5 and an ult. The very last one. Can Boise State fight him? Yes, they can. Boise State with the delayed team kill.
Yeah, they did a nice job. They focused out the shield. They got behind the shield. They got those quick eliminations. If you're out of position when you take a fight like that, you're going to get cleaned up. Doesn't matter which side you're on.
It has been interesting to see Orisa Sig back with Reinhardt banned away. Boise State with a great ice wall there, able to count Axiom out on the wrong side of the wall. Going to get a couple of freezes onto both tanks of Central Oklahoma, but a great disengage there. We see Icy trying to maybe get in on the back line. Supercharger going to come down for Pyros there. Modern Frost, the first one to fall. Take care of Alex. Meteor Strike right in the back line. There goes the Soldier. We'll see if Icy can pick up anything else. Ice Roll going to take him away from his own team. Coalescence coming out from both Moiras right now, but Boise State doing an excellent job. Central Oklahoma not even able to leave their spawn as they get the delayed kill on Decretus.
I'm not going to lie, that's pretty careless for Boise State to take the fight in there. That's never a good idea to go inside the doorway. The doorway itself is death, but they were able to call the right targets, and that's the key. If you can pick on the right targets at the right time, you're going to win those fights. They went down 1 early, then they evened it out, and then they got aggressive.
Nice flank there by Central Oklahoma. Sound barriers available as Guac immediately commits the gravitic flux there. Sound barrier used to cancel out all of that damage by Draven. Nerdy dropping very low. Boise doesn't have another ult. Axiom's going to pop his supercharger. Modern Frost throws the Blizzard down, but it might be too late as 3 members of Boise State go down, 4 and now 5. Modern Frost might be the only one to survive. He is actually going to stay on the point, trying to contest it as long as possible, so he will be delayed. But a great job by Central Oklahoma with a different route to catch the Broncos off guard.
Yeah, they used some ults. They committed some ults early here, but what they were able to do, well, what they weren't able to do was to get Frost out, and he got another six ticks.
And with that supercharger and 6 eliminations, Central Oklahoma actually sitting on 3 ultimates. Icy going to commit the Meteor Strike, not going to get anything. Alex answers right back with the Gravitic Flux. Boise State's going to lose a couple of members as we also see the Coalescence coming out from both Moiras there. Nerdy Bird smartly going to hold on to that sound barrier as Boise State forced to regroup. So a lot of ults thrown out by Central Oklahoma to win a fight. They definitely had an advantage in.
Well, and honestly, they used more ults than they needed. This benefits us as we look at, we're coming into this. We'll have beat for this. They're going to have to be very careful early to not to end here. They got to find a way to mitigate that Frost.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to maybe bait out Krenus' Blizzard, but an early pick onto Icy Roll is going to make Boise State an uphill journey to start. They want to keep fighting. There's the Blizzard from Krenus. Sound barrier going to be answered there by Nerdy Bird. Only lands onto 2 members, unfortunately. Guac gets frozen and does get taken down. Boise State looks like trying to hold on to the point. Now they're going to start losing members. Nerdy Bird thought she might just jump out there. Actually just going to go down. So will Icy Roll for a second time. Think Boise State should just disengage after the Blizzard came out instead of trying to waste that sound barrier.
You want to win every fight that you're in. They won the first 3. They've lost the last 2. They got to be very selective about where and how they take this next fight.
And there is going to be a sound barrier up for Draven. There might even be a tactical visor up for Data Drainer for Central Oklahoma. We are going to have Boise State within maybe 4 ultimates if they can stall it out. The Ice Wall comes out, but Pyros immediately falls. There's a tactical visor by Dada. He is just putting it on the Boise State backline right now. Icy going to get pick up his own. Draven going to use the sound barrier. Dual and Coalescence are going to come out. Modern Frost now going to throw down the Blizzard with those shields going away for Central Oklahoma. And Boise State might have found themselves an opportunity. They do have to get to the point with it ticking down in overtime as they're going to pick up a pair of eliminations. Icy Roll, unfortunately, going to go down once again, but that is the only elimination Central Oklahoma is going to get. Krenus, the last one alive, doing what he can to contest the point, but Boise State, right in the nick of time, able to get that point back.
So they got to win one fight in this case. They're coming in with a little bit of an advantage in that they can decide where that fight is. But if Axiom gets that bongo dropped early, they're going to be able to charge up those other ults, specifically Cream's Blizzard.
Yeah, right now Axiom does get frozen, can't drop the supercharger. Now he throws it down after Alex has fallen. He's going to go down as well, so will Draven. And the supercharger immediately focused down by Boise State. Fantastic target acquisition. It's just Krenus left alive. He's going to throw the Blizzard down on the point, but Boise State with a great little comeback there during the mid-game. They're going to take the first map.
Yeah, they did, and it was just enough to win, honestly.
They had just enough there, but that last fight, they were not favored in that fight. It was about 50-50. But the big problem was that Oklahoma just was not coordinated enough. They should have dropped that one where no one else could get to it. Those tendrils go so far on that, they weren't able to do anything with it. And we stole one. Really, we stole one.
Yeah, a great freeze by Modern Frost, actually slowing down Axiom from dropping that supercharger by maybe 2 or 3 seconds. I will say, for Boise State, I'm not a big fan of this Doomfist pick right now for Icy Roll. Doomfist needs to be able to get on the back line and pick off supports, and right now he just has struggled to do that. So I would like to see on this map maybe a different DPS come out for the Broncos.
Well, this will be interesting. No speed to get out there for the Broncos. They've elected to go with Nerdy Bird on the Mercy this time. It gives a little bit more support of folks spread out a little bit further.
Well, Icy Roll is going to take by suggested switch over to the Ash. Gets the pick on to Halt. He will immediately be revived, though. There is a Pharah in the back line, something we talked about with McCree being banned away. And it looks like Central Oklahoma is going to bring out that Pharmacy comp we've seen time and time again in competitive Overwatch. Icy Roll trying to do what he can, almost up to 60% for Bob. Trying to find that Pharah as once again Halt's going to go down. Immortality Field, not enough to save Asu. Good job there by Axiom getting that pick. Rez will go out, but Pyros will fall, so it's still a 5v5. Boise State still battling back and forth. The Broncos did get the point, though. That far is sometimes a little bit harder to be on the point with that flight, especially with the Mercy following her. Central Oklahoma not really putting much damage on the Boise State shields, holding strong. Modern Frost finally going to fall now to that Farah in the backline. Asu returns the fight, though, has the amplification matrix available if he wants to use it, holding on to it for now. Now with Icy Roll down, he pops the amplification matrix with no DPS alive. Not sure that was the best play for Boise State as the Immortality Field falls. Valkyrie comes out and a res onto Icy Roll. We'll see if he can get Bob before this fight's over. We're going to see the Coalescence come out from Halt there. Tactical Advisor immediately committed by Data Drain, but he's going to go down. Asu once again going to fall. Valkyrie and Gravitic Flux committed by the side of Central Oklahoma. Guac using his Gravitic Flux as well. Icy Roll, we can see, has used the Bob, is trying to get a pick onto that Farah. Bob doing some work, though, and Boise State looks like in a very long engagement going to come out ahead.
Yeah, technically that was the first and the second fight. And with ults coming up in the second fight this time, they were able to get it all the way to 60%. That is a really productive first phase.
There is a barrage up for Kreenis on Central Oklahoma's side if he is able to find it. And as you mentioned, Doc, with that being the first and second fight, Boise State's already at 80% and climbing. So Central Oklahoma has to take a fight they know they can win. Otherwise, they're going to lose this second map and this first game here and fall down. Boise State on match point. As we see, they're going to take, once again, that same strat they did. Dragon Strike going to come out immediately by Modern Frost, dropping Axiom very, very low. Nice pick by Icy Roll onto Kreenis. He had committed the barrage, but no damage came out. Supercharger committed by Axiom, and Central Oklahoma needs to find a win here. Modern Frost going to climb up right on top of that point, but nobody even gets on it. A huge misplay by Central Oklahoma, and Boise State kind of cruised to that victory there. Now they're on match point.
Yeah, on match point. That's what we're getting. Pretty good. So,
a couple of things I thought were really, really smart. You'll notice that they're already combining, the Broncos are at least, the Broncos are combining ultimate with ability. So the reason you have the Orisa out there is so that you can pull people into your effect. On Mecha Base, it was the Rock. On Sanctuary, it was the Shrine. It was the Dragons there at the end. And even if you don't get eliminations on combinations like that, if you can get them to delay, you're just trying to get time here.
Yeah, Arissa's very, very strong at grouping people up into the ultimates there, and that was a really great job by Boise State surviving that second fight where both their DPS had gone down. We did see the power of the Mercy getting reses out on both sides, so Boise State's now going to head to match point, and you look at the side of Central Oklahoma, and there are some interesting picks there. You see the swap to the Hanzo, and then it looks like the attack Torbjorn is something on payload you don't often see, so we'll see how that works out. From huge ice wall, actually going to get both tanks trapped out. Axiom going to fall. Great job by Modern Frost trapping him outside of his spawn. Immortality Field is going to come down from Halt as the Torbjorn shield is going to fall. Icy Roll will go down there. Immediately going to be res back up though. No punish onto Nerdy Bird while she gets that res off. Kreenis getting frozen and dropping very low. He is going to fall. Boise State doing a great job executing this sort of stall strategy right at the point, using these payloads as sight lines. As once again, Halt's going to go down. There's an ice wall coming out there to trap out another member. Data Trainer going to be the next one to fall. And I really think Central Oklahoma's got to find a better strategy. Axiom dying for the second time here because that open door they've been running through has not been working.
It has not. They did a nice job, the Broncos did, getting quite a bit of ult charge. Icy Rolex, which is Lake, by the way, with this hold close strategy, has been really just keeping them on fire the whole time. That Mercy boost speeds it up just a little bit.
Yeah, Icy Rolex very, very close to the Bob. Looks like there were a couple swaps by Central Oklahoma. At least the Reaper Immortality Field came down and then immediately went down. Good job there by Guac. Ace2, though, was forced to commit his own. Guac hit by an anti-healing nade. Can't use his Gravitic Flux before he falls. Modern Frost going to go down as well. And it looks like Boise State has to accept. They went for the stall strategy. They burned off about a minute and got an amp matrix in the process. So they are going to happily fall back with all that time wasted.
On attack here, you've got to win 2 fights. On defense here, you've got to win 4, sometimes 5. But Boise State has the Bob and the Sigil combination. He does so much damage if you send Bob underneath that sucker.
Yeah, we'll see if Central Oklahoma can maybe time a well-played Immortality Field to stop all of that damage. Boise State has done a good job finding it out. There's the Immortality Field already committed. You're going to get a Nano as well. Looks like that one went on to Kreenis, excuse me. Alex going to go down, but so will CBMX. Valkyrie and Ant Matrix committed by Boise State there. Rez onto CBMX, so all of that damage, that nano just for nothing for Central Oklahoma. Green is going to fall. Bob comes into the fight. Another elimination. Halt will go down as well. So will Data Drainer. So all of that committed by Central Oklahoma went into Nerdy Bird having to res one person.
Yep, and you'll notice right there at the very end, you saw that pull combined with the rock as CBMX and Guac really well practiced on that strategy specifically. It does so much displacement and damage, sets up early fight for you.
Looks like Central Oklahoma wants a Bob on their own side. Data Draining swapping over there from the Hanzo. Immortality Field went down and immediately has expired. You see the Supercharger and Blizzard committed there, and that's going to have the eliminations tick up for Boise State. Sitting on 4, they cannot make it 5 and 6 as Data Draining and Kreenis retreat back to the spawn there. So Boise State now only needs to win maybe 1, maybe 2 more fights here, and they can close this out without letting Central Oklahoma get a single point.
Yeah, 1 long fight, 2 small fights, they got to get after, but they're way behind. Even though they're defending, they're probably only 30% to win this fight unless they use their ults better than Central Oklahoma.
We are going to get, let's see, we do see Guac has to Gravitic Flux. He's going to commit it as Halt falls. Data Drainer will go down as well. Death Blossom in the back line, able to pick up just 1 thanks to a huge Immortality Field from Asu. Icy Rolex going to go down. Rez comes up though, and Boise State has to feel very strong as the respawns come out, but they will be very staggered with Axiom and Draven's Lad going down. So will Kreenis. Right now, Central Oklahoma, it really feels like they have not found a way to combo these ults in a way they should. It now ticking down. 20 seconds left here. We'll see if they can mount one last crazy fight.
One last crazy fight coming up here. Asu's got to help them charge a little bit of ult by getting that Matrix in the right spot. There it is. Here we go.
There's the Matrix going down. The Nano has gone out, but it's not going to matter. 2 members immediately fall from Central Oklahoma. Their own Supercharger is down, but I don't think that's going to help out. And Anna is the only one left alive. Try to do what he can. It will not matter. And Boise State with a great defense there. Not even going to let Central Oklahoma get around that second corner.
And that's why you play that early close thing, because again, you're trying to just deny as much space as you can. You end up taking a full fight more if you hold it there, or if you hold it in that first opening stretch before first corner. But if you lose 2 fights, you're going to lose the point anyway. You just try to stall out the cart as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, and I really have to say, unfortunately for Central Oklahoma, Halt had the Amplification Matrix available for 2 straight fights and actually died before he could use it. So I think that really set them back. As you mentioned, they don't get those extra charges. We talked about Asu using it. Same thing applies for them with that Amp Matrix. So that was really what cost him. He couldn't get the Immortality Field down to soak a bunch of damage. So Central Oklahoma, they can take a page out of Boise State's playbook. If they can win 2, maybe even 3 fights right off the spawn, they could go a long way into forcing us to a Game 3, but Boise State has to feel supremely confident that they can get these 77 meters in the 4 minutes allotted.
And the Broncos are going to have to identify what their comp is early. Who are we fighting? Where are we fighting? All of those things, understanding. And they've got the advantage because they can just step right back into spawn and make their own, just change the comp, instant.
Yeah, so Boise State, I think also the Broncos could learn from Central Oklahoma. If it's not working through that front door, take the side door where it does look like the Broncos are setting up. It gives you more opening. You can't be cut off by a great ice wall. There you go. Boise State's going to come out from that wall exactly. So they're able to get right onto the point. Central Oklahoma not been ready for it. I see Rolex taken just a bit low. They're all hiding out in that corridor. Shields coming up from both sides. Not a lot of damage coming out as the shields are there. Does look like Draven, though, has committed the healing nade to his own team. Immortality Field going to go down there, immediately taken down by Guac. Great job by Boise State. And now the eliminations start to rack up. 3 members go down, just 1 for Modern Frost. The Immortality Field from Asu still has not been eliminated. Green is going to fall. Alex, the last one alive, and Boise State off that team kill might be able to get to the point just like that.
They're going to end up having to take 1 more fight, but they're getting pretty close here. If I see Rolex lands a nice, good dynamite early, Bob's going to be in this fight, and it's going to be 7v6.
Yeah, the difference really has been the Immortality Field play of Asu and Halt, and really the target acquisition. A great wall there. Axiom going to get cut off. Immortality Field immediately committed by Halt and immediately taken down by Icy Rolex. Halt's going to use the Amplification Matrix, trying to build up any damage. Boise State doing a very, very good job line of sighting that. They will lose Modern Frost. They'll pick up a pair of eliminations in the process. Dravenslad able to get out the nano boost, but it probably isn't going to matter as Bob picks up 2. Kreenis, the last one left alive on that parking lot space, and Boise State going to cruise on in the Broncos, going to win this series 2-0. Really not even losing a single point to the University of Central Oklahoma, who is playing Boise State in the NACE Spring Series.
Did you see close? It was in the last fight, that pull dynamite combination. How fabulous is that?
You talked about the pull from Marissa. I mean, that was honestly incredible. So a great job by Boise State to win that fight, to win the game. And you know what? I have to say the difference came down to the Batiste play. I mean, it just felt like Halt's Immortality fields were burned too early. And really the team play of Boise State. That Immortality field went down. It was immediately destroyed. Asu would throw down Immortality field. It would expire from the duration. So great targeting by Boise State, recognizing sometimes there are things more important than clicking heads, and it's clicking that Immortality field.
Clicking that Immortality field was a big, big deal. And you can just tell, I think, the relative youth of University of Central Oklahoma in just the length of time, the processing that it takes to decide what we're doing next. Yeah, okay, so we're hearing in our ear. That's how it looks. We've got a player of the game and a top 5. Can't wait to see it. So we'll bring that up as soon as it's visible to us, which is fabulous. Who do you think it'll be, Fish?
Oh, player of the game's going to be tough. Everyone on Boise State played so fantastically well. You know what? I'm going to have to just go with the easy pick. I have to give it to Icy Rolex. When you play DPS, it's a lot easier to get those highlight plays.
Yep, I think you're right. Oh, Modern Frost. You know what? He went down early in a lot of fights, so we didn't see his big work early, but he was a huge part of what was going on. He died a lot early, but he facilitated the wall and froze the tank that allowed them to make those big plays.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that would be the one play that really stands out to me. I think it's right here. He's going to get the freeze onto Axiom, not allow the supercharger to go down until a couple of seconds later after Alex had gone down. And that really changed the fight because it meant Kreenis couldn't build up his ultimate, and it allowed Boise State to win. So yeah, that huge freeze onto Axiom. He also had a couple of huge May walls, which they're hard to highlight out, but he did have a couple of huge May walls where he traps the tank on the other side. Boise State's able to get a lot of chip damage onto that tank, even get a couple of eliminations as well. So great job by Modern Frost on that May, playing, right to his name, doing a lot of freezing, a lot of frost going around onto the Central Oklahoma side.
So much frost going around, and that is one of our favorite things about having May up. We've worked her with the Rhine before, but honestly, if Guac is going to only be able to play one hero in an entire season, it better be Sig. Now, he probably gets tired of playing Sig, but he has so much ability to bully them around because he can hit from a distance, and then he can just move in there and draw all of their attention. He's so bloody tall. Name another hero taller than Sig, especially off the ground.
Yeah, and that is something that thinking about it, I'm kind of shocked. I know Blizzard has said that they kind of base their competitive bans on pick rates and win rates and stuff like that, which is what for a lot of these tournaments we use. We just use a week of bans. And I'm very surprised that I think we've only seen 1 week of May bans. She's almost always played when she's not banned. I would not be shocked if in coming weeks May gets taken away because she's so powerful and she's played a lot because of her ability for that utility, that CC, and those ice walls.
Absolutely, and it's one of the reasons that we practice her the way that we do, and we also practice other comps in advance, assuming combinations of bands that we expect to see. So anybody we rely on heavily, we try to come up with their alternate. Really, you saw the Ashe and the Hanzo here. That's the new form of the double sniper. And we'll take a look at the top 5 here as well. But that is, that's just part of what we're practicing to get to that spot.
Yeah, great job by Boise State getting ready for those bans. As you mentioned, though, we got a top 5 from that game.
Specifically, Cream's Blizzard.
Yeah, right now, Axiom does get frozen, can't drop the supercharger. Now he throws it down after Alex has fallen. He's going to go down as well, so will Draven. And the supercharger immediately focused down by Boise State. Fantastic target acquisition. It's just Kreenis left alive. He's going to throw the Blizzard down on the...
to help them charge a little bit of ult by getting that Matrix in the right spot. There it is. Here we go.
There's the Matrix going down. The Nano has gone out, but it's not going to matter. Two members immediately fall from Central Oklahoma. Their own supercharger is down, but I don't think that's going to help out. And Anna is the only one left alive. Try to do what he can. It will not matter. And halt there, tactical advisor immediately committed by Data Drain, but he's going to go down. Asu once again going to fall. Valkyrie and Gravitic Flux committed by the side of Central Oklahoma. Guac using his Gravitic Flux as well. Icy Roll we can see has used the Bob, is trying to get a pick onto that Farah. Bob doing some work though, and Boise State looks like in a very long engagement going to come out ahead.
Yeah.
Halt there, tactical advisor immediately committed by Data Drain, but he's going to go down. Asu once again going to fall. Valkyrie and Gravitic Flux committed by the side of Central Oklahoma. Guac using his Gravitic Flux as well. Icy Roll we can see has used the Bob, is trying to get a pick onto that Farah. Bob doing some work though, and Boise State looks like in a very long engagement going to come out ahead.
Yeah.
Rolex. Halt's going to use the application matrix, trying to build up any damage. Boise doing a very, very good job line of sighting that. They will lose Modern Frost, but pick up a pair of eliminations in the process. Dravenslad able to get out the nano boost, but it probably isn't going to matter as Bob picks up two. Green is the last one left alive on that parking lot space, and
And we'll bring it back here and we'll say hey to everybody. Next up, we've got a match. This is part of the NACE tournament, which is just fired up this spring season. A little late, but we're glad to have it. We blame tiny viruses all over the world for our woes, but we have that game, and it's pretty good, pretty exciting to always play UT Dallas. They're one of the best squads out there.
Yeah, UT Dallas, a name that we've seen and heard a couple of times on the stream. And as you mentioned, hey, you know what? It's great that we were able to get this nice spring series going, even if it is a bit late. Great to be able to get it around here in time. And it will say the best of three does change things. And all the games we play, I guess League of Legends aside, because after best of three, it gets really fatiguing. Best of three in Rocket League and Overwatch is kind of crazy because, as we just saw, you win two, you're done. So it puts a lot of pressure on that first game. I know in best of fives, we've seen a team drop the first map on Control and then just steamroll everything else. So it puts a lot of pressure on how well you're able to play Control, a lot of pressure on how well you're able to win those early team fights, because you win Control, you're immediately on match points. So I'll be curious to see how that's going to play out against UT Dallas.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons that we all practice, well, at least the Broncos do, we practice more Control maps than any other, and we practice more off-meta maps than any other, just because we want those small advantages.
It's going to be Boise State versus UT Dallas. Broncos versus the Comets in the NACE Spring Series here in Overwatch. It is going to be a best of three, and like some of the other tournaments unlike, I should say, some of the other tournaments we've been playing, the map order is not predetermined. This is going to be loser's choice, which I do think adds a little bit of element of fairness. I think sometimes when the maps are planned out, teams you've seen kind of struggle on maps they maybe haven't played. So I'm very excited to see what the loser is going to pick when we get to it, but right now we're going to go to Busan and see if Boise State can keep up the dominating effort they've put in so far. And then you can see the bands on your screen: Ryan, McCree, Widow, Echo, and Brig. I think Ryan and McCree, the ones that you're going to see having the most impact on team comps in this series.
On this map, though, the Widow gets a lot of value. More on this map than most other maps. So it'll be very interesting to see what Texas comes out and plays against us in this case.
Yeah, looks like Texas going to go with one of those, I guess, knockoff snipers that we've talked about. The Ash there being hovered now for Stasis. I'll be curious to see if they're going to stick on it. I see Rolex has it as well here, but I'll be curious to see how that D.Va works, because D.Va is one of those champions that she really can punish a Widowmaker or a sniper. Ash can be more in the front line, so I'll be curious to see how much use that D.Va gets with Jukebox, but also be curious to see how much Modern Frost can maybe try and dodge that. So we do have a pause in the game. There it is, Boise State versus UT Dallas loading into Busan there in a best of three. And definitely from some of the comps we've seen, it's going to be a very interesting and a little bit of a different match than the one we saw against Central Oklahoma.
All All right, and we're back into it. This is going to be pretty exciting here. We'll get the audio up and running properly here momentarily. I think it joins us here in just a millisecond. But setting it up, here we go.
It looks like great job by Boise State getting a pick onto Louis. Nerdy Bird taking very low, going to survive though. Rez comes out. Boise State not able to punish the Diva there. They have put a ton of damage onto Kinetic though. Jukebox standing towards half health. They're going to try and rush in onto the back line there. Unfortunately, Stasis now going to get a pick onto Pyros and Asu. That Ash play for UT Dallas. Very, very strong here in the early going. Looks like Boise State though holding strong on the point. Maybe even able to get an early pick as a Maywall goes up. Dynamite did hit. Rez went on to Asu, but unfortunately for Boise State, it might not matter. Guac is going to go down. Kinetic has fallen. So you have Boise State with Icy Rolex in the back line. What he can do. Diva there sort of walling him off as 2 eliminations come out as well. Icy Rolex dropping very, very low. Looks like he should be able to survive, but UT Dallas should be able to start with the point here.
They kite back a little bit. They're willing to give up the point. They're trying to get, as they're backing up, just a couple of extra eliminations. They get Jukebox at the end, which gives them an advantage coming into this next fight. And Nerdy getting really close to her ult as well. Ult's coming up for the Broncos.
Yeah, ult's coming up for both sides. There is, we see the Nano available for Day. Molten Core also available for Hello. The turret is going to fall, though, and he's immediately going to commit the Molten Core right over the Maywall. Day is going to nano him, but it's not going to matter. Louis and Hello both going to fall. Huge immortality field from Asu as the Matrix comes out there. Looks like a couple members going to go down. One to the Molten Core, one to the Diva Bomb. Looks like a Res is going to go off on Louis, and the Valkyrie has been committed by Kinetic. Boise State, though, holding strong in this 3v5 right now. Looks like Icy Rolex and Guac. We're just about to respawn. Modern Frost, unfortunately, has fallen, and it looks like the rest of the Broncos going to have to fall back, and it really feels like Boise State hasn't been able to punish that Mercy when she goes in for the res. She's standing still for about 2 seconds, but Kinetic's done a great job getting off back-to-back reses on that Orisa.
Target focus is a problem for the Broncos right now. Oh, and Icy just trying to get a little bit of chip damage makes it so that the Broncos can't fight probably for another 20%. Watch the clock. It was about 40 when it happened. Let's see if they can even re-engage by 60.
Well, unfortunately for Boise State, they actually got the res from Nerdy Bird, and then Icy Rolex went down again, so now they might not be able to fight until 65-70%. It looks like the Broncos trying to do what they can. Stasis going to commit the bob. We'll see if Boise State's maybe able to handle that and stall out this fight. Nerdy Bird going to use the Valkyrie there. Immortality field comes down, but it's not enough to save Asu. Looks like Modern Frost is going to use the Blizzard Jukebox. Not able to eat that one up. Louis in the backline there does put down the Supercharger as another res comes out. Icy Rolex has actually swapped over, able to join the fight and get a couple of eliminations there. Stasis and Jukebox have gone down. Louis using the Supercharger. He is going to be able to survive. Boise State this time doing a great job preventing the res. Should get a delayed elimination onto Louis as well. So a great job by Boise State stalling out that fight and almost able to get a kill onto Kinetic. They actually get Day and Kinetic, so stalling both the supports out for UT Dallas, and that should allow Boise State to get closer to that 83% number that UT Dallas has on the board right now.
That might have been a mistake by UT Dallas. They're going to give another 5 to 10% to the Broncos because Mercy didn't run and jump off the edge, which really she should have reset a lot quicker. She decided to go battle Mercy, and they didn't quick eliminate her.
Boise State does have the 3 ultimates available. Pyros immediately going to commit the Supercharger there. They will take down Hello's turret. They'll take down Hello as well. The Kinetic Valkyrie, not enough to save his team. We see Icy Rolex in the back line. They're trying to find out the supports. Griffinic Flux going to be committed, going to take down a couple of members. 4 now down for UT Dallas. Louis going to fall as well. Asu is going to be able to get his immortality field down, but it will be taken out. Great job there by Stasis. Jukebox has been knocked out of the mech, still there on the point, but Boise State doing a really good job, especially looks like they're going to bully this Diva. Now they'll take her down. So unfortunate for UT Dallas, these staggered respawns have really let Boise State back in the game.
Yeah, they flipped the script a little bit. The staggered respawn on the Broncos got it up to 65, almost 70%. They flipped it at 83, and now the Broncos are passing that point. They've got to win one more fight to win it. UT Dallas has to win 2.
UT Dallas should have the Molten Core and the Nano available. Here comes the Diva Bomb. Boise State going to be able to hide that one away. A huge 5-man ante onto the Broncos side, and that's going to spell immediate doom for them. All 5 that are hit will go down. Modern Frost commits the Blizzard, trying to get a pick. He will land one on today. The Broncos up to 99%, so they are going to have that little bit of extra time. The res will come out. UT Dallas has taken the point back, and Boise State now has to get a quick fight here.
Pyro, top 500 ball player, switches over to the ball that he loves, and they've got to jump in. They try to get a little bit out of that dragon, but maybe not the right time to use it.
Yeah, it looks like Pyros is going to get Day taken down. Asu will fall with the Imp Matrix down for Boise State, so they will have that extra damage. Does look like Pyros has gone down, but Stasis has fallen, the main DPS for UT Dallas. So if they can find out that Torbjorn turret, they might have the advantage here. Guac doing a great job. Icy Rolex going to be taken down. The Supercharger put down. Guac trying to do what he can to immediately take it down. Louis looks like he's the last one left on the point. Jukebox on the Diva can try and get back. He is going to get there along with Day on the Lucio. They both get frozen. Gavitic Flux committed there by Guac, able to slam them both down. Boise State now looks like they're going to get it. What a rebound for the Broncos. Respawning at 90% and able to win that one. You rarely see stall working that well.
It's true, and they tried to Sig-9 it there, right? They tried to get that Sig ult in play so that he could get it up and everybody up off the point. And, of course, when they're lifted, they don't touch a cart, they don't touch any kind of payload or any kind of space, but it didn't quite work. Somebody else was touching somewhere else. It usually works better when that overtime's been going for quite some time. Maybe it helped them to get it flipped. All right, they're coming into Mecha Base next. Here we go.
Yeah, I will say that was a great job by Asu. Even though he got eliminated, getting the amplification matrix down allowed the rest of that team to have that increased damage, and I think that really is what sort of flipped the fight. But yeah, that really felt like that was almost two maps combined in terms of pressure and length, so it's kind of shocking and a wake-up call to me that we're only on the second map here. Looks like they are going to meet in the mid here as a couple swaps have come out for the Boise State comp as well as the UT Dallas comp. Teams are trading back and forth. Icy Rolex dropping very, very low. Looks like right now he is losing that Reaper battle. He is trying to do what he can in on the back line, needing a ton of healing from Boise State. Able to keep him alive. Great job by the Boise State supports. Able to keep Icy Rolex alive. Unfortunately, the rest of the health bar is affected. Asu already has the Coalescence. Immediately going to use it to stabilize there. We'll see if Day can maybe use his to finish things off. Asu's Coalescence now fading. Day going to use his own in a very, very long engagement. Finally, Jukebox going to be the first elimination there. Right now, the Coalescence allowing everything else to be stabilized. Hello, immediately going to get the meteor strike, commits it out 1% as Modern Frost falls. Hello gets that shield, but then immediately goes down himself, so it is still a 5v5. UT Dallas smartly actually went onto the point, able to capture it as the Broncos get a pick onto Stasis, so no DPS alive right now for the Comets. We'll see if Boise State can punish them. There goes Louis. Looks like they're trying to chase that Lucio. Only problem for Boise State is they're not going to be able to get this point as they did buy enough time for the rest of their team to come back. They have taken out 4 members. I would have thought UT Dallas would stagger at this point, but no, they're going to try and get all the percent they can. That was a very long engagement once again.
Specifically on this one, the team that wins the first fight is about 70% to win this whole turn, this whole map.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that maybe is a little different. Usually when you win the fight, you get the first tick, but 22% went out of the UT Dallas. Gravitic Flux committed by both sides. Death Blossom going to be used there by Icy Rolex. Sound Barrier by Nerdy Bird prevents a ton of damage. We will see, unfortunately, Icy Rolex go down. Coalescence committed there by Asu. Able to get one. Looks like we're going to see Day just suicide off the edge there. And a great job by Boise State to win that fight once again. But there's going to be 3 ultimates up for UT Dallas this time.
Guaranteed. And so usually if you're both holding, or if you're holding a Blizzard, if you get that Blizzard out first, you win. There's nothing quite in the arsenal like that freeze.
Yeah, and there is no Diva this time on the side of UT Dallas, so Modern Frost really can use it at will. He's going to use it behind the ice wall there, put it down. Coalescence Supercharger have gone down. Supercharger on both sides. Sound Barrier committed by Kinetic, but a bit late as Jukebox falls. Surprised he held it that long. Guac going to go down, though. Stasis will fall, so Boise State pulling ahead here just a little bit. Their Supercharger also lasting much longer, as we're going to see once again a pair of eliminations on both sides. So the 4v4 now as respawns come out and they try and rejoin their teams here up in the mid. A very popular fight for these two spots to fight at. Looks like Nerdy Bird might have fallen down there. Asu going to use the Coalescence there as Modern Frost going to pick up Day. Stasis has the Death Blossom, immediately going to commit it, but Boise State does an excellent job dodging that. Pyros is going to fall. Once again, the team's trading back and forth as Louis goes down. Nerdy Bird falling might finally spell the difference for Boise State. Doesn't look like they're able to get a quick pick. The Meteor Strike available for Hello if he wants to use it. Broncos, though, content stalling out this fight as long as possible, up at 91% and climbing. Here's the Meteor strike. Looks like a great prediction onto Hello where he was going to land. He will go down to Icy Rolex. Gravitic Flux committed there by Jukebox. Just lands onto Guac. Would have liked to see that hit a couple more targets. Looks like now Day has the Coalescence. Immediately going to throw it down. A freeze onto Stasis. Modern Frost has a second Blizzard this fight. Gets it off right before he dies. Ace going to use his own Coalescence. Try to keep Boise State alive. There comes Icy Rolex with the Death Blossom. He will go down. Nerdy Bird Sound Barrier going to be used to kept everyone on Boise State alive. Unfortunately, both the DPS have gone down as the Broncos up at 99%. Day will fall in what has been a longer and longer fight, but it seems to start favoring the team with the ultimates of second. Sound Barrier comes down, and Boise State looks like without their supports now, they might be in a spot they don't want to be in. Supercharger comes down from Louis. They're going to be used by Pyros as well. Boise State somehow holding on for dear life there. Gravitic Flux going to be committed by Guac. Gets an elimination as well. Stasis has the Death Blossom. Going to have to come in with something clutch there. He's not going to get it, and Boise State in one of the longer fights I have ever seen, Doc. They're going to win. That was a 2-fight map because we had 2 of the longest fights I've ever been a part of.
It was a 2-fight map for sure. Let's take a quick look at the play of the game. Stasis. This is impressive stuff. I think this might include the Bob as well. Oh, it was the follow-up to that massive ante.
Yeah, a 5-man ante makes it really easy for any DPS player to get a ton of picks, but Stasis did a really good job. Actually had a couple of huge picks on that map onto Icy Rolex, just unfortunately wasn't able to win it out. So Boise State is on to match point here as we go to Escort. The Comets do, though, get to pick what map they want to play on, and I'm still just trying to recover, Doc. I have never seen a 2-fight control map like we just saw, so I'm expecting a lot of engaged and very long skirmishes while this payload doesn't go a lot of places on this next map.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not going to go a lot of places. What's unique about this format, and we'll take a look at it here real quick, is that because the NACE have decided to do something just a little bit different. Normally, in the TESPA approach, we see the second map, be that hybrid map. In this case, it's going to go Escort, and it doesn't really please a lot of the players, unfortunately. I don't know why, because they shouldn't get worked up that the second map isn't going to always be Kings Row, and you're very astute at pointing that out. It usually is Kings Row. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like the players are up in arms that they don't always get to play Kings Row, which is something on the caster's desk that I will rejoice in. Kings Row, it's played for a reason. It's one of the more popular maps, but, we're kind of sick of it up here. So, I'm okay with Escort second. I'm okay with Escort second.
Yep, as am I. And so it opens up most likely Dorado. People tend to feel pretty comfortable in Dorado. Did you know that there is a greater popularity in dark night maps? Higher pick rate in night maps. Dorado, at least Twilight map, right? Kings Row, much higher. Can you name another night map? Not a specialty map, but a night map.
I'm trying to think here. I can see the pictures. I just can't see the maps.
Lijiang.
I am also just... Yeah, Lijiang. I'm trying at the same time trying to think out why you would pick night maps, and I'm thinking it makes it easier to see everything. Would be my guess.
It's not actually a strategic thing. It's just that people
enjoy. I would still say as a player, at least, maybe it's just me at my low rank, it's easier to see things at night because, these are bright projectiles and there's no sun to compete with them. So I would say that there is maybe some tactical advantage to picking night maps just because it does make those little very bright pixels just a bit easier to see. But maybe, I'm just crazy. This is Boise State taking on UT Dallas here in the NACE Spring Series of Overwatch. It is best of 3 control. Escort hybrid is our order, and Boise State winning control means that we are going to be going towards Escort, and UT Dallas bringing us back to a day map, but one we've already seen today on the stream.
One that we've already seen today, but it's a really popular one. You can tell the schools that are very aware of the maps. They selected this one. Normally we would have selected this one because it's one of the least played, and we play those percentages. If we have to choose a map, we want to choose something that has much less likelihood of being practiced by the other teams. That's not really a surprise to folks. Even though people are aware of that general strategy, the majority of them still don't practice them. right? The players complain, we don't want to play it, so they don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've usually seen rear its head in the hybrid pick where Boise State very rarely chooses Kings Row, but we might have. Well, before we get to that though, we have to see UT Dallas win a game here. They've got to win this escort to force us to a game 3, and it does look like we're going to see once again a huge ice wall by Boise State, but it is going to be immediately broken, allowing everyone on UT Dallas to rush right through. And Icy Rolex going to pay for that one. He will get revived though. Immortality Field able to keep Boise State alive for just a moment, but Asu will fall, as will his Immortality Field. Great job, UT Dallas, being prepared for this sort of spawn camp strategy. Great pull there as Stasis is going to go down. CBMX will fall, so Boise State remains in the 5v6 until Modern Frost goes down. And it looks like the Broncos, that time stall strategy did not work maybe as well as they had hoped this time. They're just able to get a couple of picks and actually lose quite a lot of people.
No, and they didn't press S fast enough here, and they're getting these little eliminations. This will cost them an entire fight on this. The Broncos, another pick right there, are starting to make some positional mistakes. When they go down 2 on that, they've either got to commit to the cart and full swap, or they've got to get out fast.
Yeah, it looks like Boise State now has finally gotten back to full strength and is ready to fight, but the cart almost 2/3 of the way there. Valkyrie committed by Nerdy Bird Day, going to use that Coalescence right on top of Boise State. Guac has the Gravitic Flux, going to commit it. It's not enough to save Modern Frost or Icy Rolex or Asu for that matter. Even the Immortality Field wasn't enough to save him. Guac will get 1 pick before going down himself. Nerdy Bird and CBMX, the only people left alive here, and they should fall very shortly. So Boise State, that first fight spelled disaster for them. They have really not been able to really have a nice team fight after losing that first engagement.
No, they lost that first engagement. They've been partial. Even now, they're pressing S, trying to get out of there, trying to keep people up. And the scary part is we could lose somebody else. They're separated, just run around trying to get some. They got to take a good, clean fight, and they've already lost that high ground up there. It's going to be tough to recapture.
Yeah, I see Rolex. Looks like Bob is going to get eliminated there, so not much value for that one for Boise State. They really don't have any ultimates available. Supercharger and Gravitic Flux both going to come down from UT Dallas. They're just building those check marks for them. CBMX and Guac both going to fall. Nerdy Bird taken very low. We'll see if she is able to get out. She is not. Boise State now looks like they're going to lose a 4th member, and UT Dallas has not stopped pushing. The only thing that's going to stop them is that solid door that the payload has to get to, but Boise State, they might need to take this time and just regroup because we've talked about it, Doc. They have not really been able to have a nice 6v6 team fight in a while.
No, they're going to try to group up here, but look how you can see their outlines. They're really, really strung out. They're not too worried about it. Okay, now they're organized, but they got to pick a target.
Maywall is going to come down. Modern Frost able to get the Blizzard down as the Coalescence comes out. So does the Death Blossom and then the Blizzard as well from Hello, and that spells 3 eliminations, make that 4 for UT Dallas. Boise State just has not been able to find a fight that they like. CBMX falls. So does ASU. The respawns prevent it from being a team kill, but UT Dallas is going to have 5 minutes and maybe even a bit more, 5 minutes exactly, and ticking down now for this last point, which it's a long trek, but they have to feel very confident.
It is. It gets stronger for the defending team the closer you get. If they can win a fight or 2 in this next L section here before the bridge, they'll do really well. But you're right. They're not clicking on the same target. They're not coordinating well. The Broncos are not UT Dallas is not winning fights. Broncos are losing fights.
Yeah, there is the sound barrier available for UT Dallas. That could cancel out a ton of damage. Supercharger committed here. Asu going to use the Coalescence. Kinetic holds for now. There goes the sound barrier onto all 5 members. Jukebox wants to use the Gravitic Flux. It's going to hit a lot of Broncos, and those health bars evaporate into thin air. 4 members, 5 and 6. A team kill for UT Dallas, and that was all with just 1 ult available, and they will keep pushing through this L section.
They will keep pushing through the L section, and again, it was the same issue. We're not playing to our win condition right now. Honestly, our win condition is to play the front of that cart, to tank up quite a bit, let our DPS really control them, wall them, separate them, beat them up, and we're not able to do that. Look how far back we're playing. We need that space.
Yeah, Supercharger's going to go down there for Bluey. Looks like there's a couple of Broncos on the wrong side of that. Maywall, Guac, and Nerdy Bird going to be a pair of those. They will go down. Modern Frost not able to get that health pack, unfortunately. I don't really know if it would have mattered. Asu just going to try and contest the payload, stall it out for as long as possible. Not able to get an elimination. He will fall. But the nice thing here for the defenders is they have this close respawn, but for Boise State, they're going to need something close to a miracle right now.
I see Rolex has made a few mistakes now. He keeps switching off just before he has an ult, and that's causing the Broncos to change their identity all the time here. And in this case, he had to get the tracer so he could get out there and contest. But that's something that we should be talking about in the comms, which we're not. Right? He doesn't have to switch off something if somebody else can touch. But that's what happens sometimes when the stress gets high. You fall into that solo queue mentality. You put yourself in a position where you're trying to clutch it out, and that's not the solution.
Yeah, UT and Dallas, the Comets have 3 minutes and 1 second in the bank there. Not really losing a single fight. Boise State now up against it. But they are on match point. They do have a map to give. You never want to lose a map, but it is a nice feeling knowing you've got something in the pocket there. As you see the tournament rules for the NACE Overwatch Spring Series. Best of 3. Boise State took control, which is always the first map. The bands Ryan, McCree, Widow, Echo, and Brig. Ryan and McCree really the main ones. I think Echo still sort of banned away in the she's still too new. Let's make sure everything's balanced, make sure everything's good with her. Loser going to pick. We are on Escort, which UT Dallas did pick. We'll have Hybrid coming up if we get to it. And as you saw there, it is NACE teams only from the Collegiate Series. So I really think that whole map spiraled where Boise State, they got the ice wall they wanted on the spawn. I don't think they expected UT Dallas to just break down that ice wall and charge right through. Usually when a player gets caught, he panics, he tries to retreat. That was a great job by UT Dallas. We talked about in the comms saying, we're coming to get you. Don't come back to us in the spawn.
Don't come back to us in the spawn. We're not necessarily picking the location that we want to fight and the conditions under which we want to fight. Very different from the first map where we were putting together poles and rocks and dynamites so that give us an advantage early.
Boise State going to take that far wall just to prevent being spawn trapped there. Good job by them. Maywall going to break up a ton of that damage. Comes out as well from Hello. Right now, Boise State doing a much better job in this fight than we saw on defense. Health bars getting low here, but no one really taken down. Stace is able to be kept alive by his supports. The Reapers have not had a great impact, and as I say that, Icy Rolex actually going to get the first pick on to Louis. There's no res available. Day will go down. Looks like we're going to get one elimination and actually make that 2 onto Boise State's back line. Jukebox going to go down, so a very back and forth engagement does favor the attacking team just a little bit there because they are right there. Huge Maywall by Modern Frost to block out a ton of that damage. He will be taken down by Stasis. CBMX able to get one, but a great rebound here by UT Dallas. They have regrouped on this point. Stasis running shop as Kinetic and Hello do go down. Guac now respawns back into the fight. Boise State does look like they have found a way to make UT Dallas run for the hills. They will survive that first engagement.
Usually a win is 2 kills. You don't need to chase people into tiny rooms and risk getting eliminated. You got to remember who you're chasing and what they can do to you 1v1. And they didn't remember that. They really slowed this down. They were already disengaging. We could have cleaned them up on the cart where we had the space.
Well, looks like we'll re-engage here. Day and Asu both going to use that Coalescence here. The Blizzard is available for Hello, and he's immediately going to drop it. Stasis has the Death Blossom as well as Icy Rolex goes down just a tick before his is ready. Nerdy Bird going to fall as well. Looks like Guac will get one elimination. Stasis dropping very low. Should be able to get out of this one alive. He will. Supercharger committed there by CBMX as Boise State maybe just trying to build up as many ultimates as they can. Actually, the Gravitic Flux from Guac says they want to fight this. Kinetic going to be forced to use the sound barrier there as the respawns come out from Boise State. They do have the Blizzard Blossom available. There's Icy Rolex with the Death Blossom, going to get just one elimination. Stasis goes down before he can use his own. Not sure why he held on to that one for that long. Sound barrier comes out from Nerdy Bird as they try and chase down the remaining members with that big shield. Nice. It will all fade. Great kiting there by UT Dallas, but it looks like Boise State should have enough to confidently get to this first payload spot, but time already against them as we tick down under a minute and 45 seconds.
I don't know if you spotted it, but that chase, I mean, that is the rule. Win the fight and then win the point. But they cost themselves one more fight here.
Looks like they are able to get a huge pick on today. Modern Frost able to use the Blizzard. Finally, Stasis using the Death Blossom there, going to get one. Eliminations really going back and forth there. Louis still has the Supercharger down. Looks like Boise State has not spotted it out yet. It will despawn. He will fall, though. Boise State now just trying to hunt the last remaining members. It was that Lucio. They should be able to get to the point, but a great job by UT Dallas stalling out on the time, and Boise State now with just 3 minutes and some change left.
Some good fights, but we're losing them, and they're taking too long, and that is one of the things that UT Dallas is completely aware of, and they're putting this together. They'll leave 3 on the cart for a moment to get it inside, but they will choose, the Broncos will choose where to take this next fight. They're a little bit down, but they'll put it where they want it.
And we are going to have the Coalescence available for day low. Once again, going to have that Blizzard. Boise State should have a Gravitic Flux here if they choose to use it. There's Day starting the fight off with the Coalescence. He's going to get a pick onto Modern Frost. The other health bars dropping very, very low for Boise State. Gravitic Flux going to be committed by Guac. We'll see if he can do anything with it. Doesn't look like he's able to do much damage, unfortunately. All of it healed off by UT Dallas. CBMX has gone down. He has respawned. Icy Rolex coming alive as well here shortly. Nerdy Bird goes down. Coalescence committed by Asu to keep the remaining members alive as Guac actually goes for the retreat there. Stasis now respawning, and Boise State looks like that Coalescence might have been a panic cue there, as there really wasn't anyone to heal as Asu falls.
Yeah, Asu falls. That fight was actually lost when the Gravitic Flux was used in a location where the Broncos were not set up to follow up. You have to get in that circle right away, and you have to beat up anybody who falls on top of you. If you do that, you usually clear those. It's one of those, and we'll talk about it later, one of those ults that requires follow-up where you just don't get any value out of it.
Death Blossom there, used by Icy Rolex. Not going to do a lot of damage. I think UT Dallas was ready for it. Hello's going to drop the Blizzard. Sound Barrier going to come out from Nerdy Bird. Unfortunately, those shields are not going to be enough as 3-4 members are going to go down. No ults even committed there by UT Dallas. They hold strong. Asu falling in a very late pick. Nerdy Bird, we'll see if she's able to get away. Looks like she is, but Boise State throwing 2 ults at the Comets and unfortunately coming away with nothing.
The Comets with Bongo, Beat, Blossom, and Coalescence all coming into this. We only have not much. I can't even list it. We have so little. This really favors the Comets.
Supercharger Coalescence going to come out there, and just like that, the eliminations rack up an immediate team kill for the Comets. I will say shout out to them. We've seen teams throw every ultimate at one team to win a fight. Great job to hold on to the sound barrier there and the Blossom, making Boise State's next engagement almost as hard as the engagement they just lost.
Exactly. They didn't really tip the balance of that fight. Sometimes you'll run in and take a dry fight to get them to use ults, but they only used 2. They really only needed 1. They stabilized just fine.
Yeah, Boise State does have a pair of ultimates available this time with the Supercharger and the Coalescence. There, they both are going to be used in tandem. Gravitic Flux and Death Blossom, though, immediately going to silence Boise State's pleas, as we are going to see 5 members go down. Icy Rolex, the last one left alive. He's able to get elimination onto Kinetic, but unfortunately goes down in the process. Boise State committing all of their ultimates, and they still couldn't get the sound barrier out from Kinetic.
Stasis and Louis were really the ones cleaning up that, but when you look at the kill feed, you see everybody participating. That tells you that that team has already decided who the targets are going to be, and they're cleaning them up.
Boise State here potentially with one last fight to at least try and push this payload to the second spot. Modern Frost does have the Blizzard. Great Maywall by Hello to stop off that advance. All the high ground right now on the side of the Comets. Boise State, though, doing a great job staying alive. Unfortunately, Asu is going to fall. There is 3 ultimates available. Day immediately going to use that Coalescence. Hello gets the Blizzard down. Actually, as he dies, Modern Frost will answer. Unfortunately, Guac falls before he can get off the Gravitic Flux. Sound Barrier finally used by Kinetic. Great job there, stabilizing all of those very low health bars and absolutely turning that fight on Boise State. The overtime ticking down, no Bronco on the point, and UT Dallas doing a spectacular job on that map. You can see why they picked it, as we are going to head to a Game 3 in this best-of-3 series.
Game 3, the target focus was a real problem for the Broncos. It was Day, in fact, with this Coalescence, probably in that fight where they cleaned the whole thing up. Yeah, right up there where they're holding the high ground. Great wall to stall them out, and then they were all just lined up there. You know, that's a great play. It was the right time to use it. Allowed his team to be aggressive, but in the end, the Broncos just not able to do anything with that. That was a tough map for them. Tough map for sure.
Yeah, you can see why UT Dallas picked that map in the NACE Overwatch Spring Series here. It is a best of 3, and with loser choice, the Comets doing exactly that, picking a map that they absolutely dominated on. But Boise State now, see if they can do the same thing. They will have a choice for hybrid here. It is going to be winner take all in this best of 3 series. I see somebody in the chat there saying that UT Dallas's alt management was solid. 100% agree. I mean, we've seen tons of teams with 4 alts say, we're all going to use our ultimates, and they just fall right over. But UT Dallas, they kept the sound barrier for 3 fights. It was absolutely incredible. So Boise State definitely going to have some tough work here in hybrid.
And they did a great job, too, understanding how they needed to use those ults to advance and not to over-ult. When we're all grouped up like that and you coalescence into it, it allows everybody on your team to fight and be aggressive in that space, right? If you're running with a Reinhardt, that's when you tell your Reinhardt to swing. But that's the key, really, for UT Dallas to do good stuff, and they did. They used the bongo in that second-to-last high ground fight. They put it in a great spot. The Broncos couldn't contest it or eliminate it, and they took the fight even with all that additional damage bonus, and it wiped them.
As you see there, that is going to be the question heading into Game 3. Can Boise State return to that Game 1 form where it was a lot of fights in control? We had a 2-fight map, and Boise State ended up winning that one. So, yeah, we'll be curious to see. It is hybrid. I know we see a lot of Kings Row, but we also talk about how Boise State doesn't always pick Kings Row because they want to go for something that the other team doesn't practice, which UT Dallas just did with that escort map. So they might be ready. So the reverse psychology is going to be key. Is it just play your best map here because it is match point? I'm being very curious to see what they pick. But, yeah, if it's really going to see if it's Game 2 form for UT Dallas, I think they'll win. If it's Game 1 form for Boise State, I think they'll also win here. So it's really going to see who can come back to that form of when they won.
You know, and you think about the escort maps that we've seen a lot lately, we tend to see quite a bit more of the popular ones being played when it's selected. We see the Rialto. We see, in this case, we see the Havana. The other ones that we don't see nearly as much, we'll get back to the hybrid ones, Nimbani, mathematically one of the lowest selected maps when you get a chance to do it because there's so many different things that people can organize. It's difficult to decide what you're going to play going out there. And the run into to where the usual first fight is doesn't really make for a practical. You give up half a fight to send a Sombra Scout out there to get the right comp, and so there's often an argument in the in the meetup to do we want to scout it? Do we want to just pick what we're going to do? If you've done enough scouting on the other team before you play, you have a pretty good sense of what they like to run. But there's so many different ways that they can play the high ground around the cart capture point on Nimbani. It's tough. I would always expect us to choose this one because we know that it has the lowest pick rate. It has the lowest scrim rate of most teams. That's one of those things that we try to find whenever we can. What are the other teams scrimming, right? It's less important what they run unless they run something that offers some really unique challenges, especially with this mix around. But really, where are they spending their time? What maps are they scrimming?
Yeah, and it really does feel like, just from watching Boise State throughout the last few years, it really does feel like, as you are watching a Boise State versus UT Dallas in a spring Overwatch series, best of 3, Game 3 coming up after the Comets storming back in Game 2. It really does feel like this McCree ban, something that I love to hate on with the Deadeyes, it really feels like that's hurt Boise State. It doesn't feel like that second DPS we've had has complemented the May as much. You don't have that chip damage the McCree offers. The Reaper has been able to get in the back line, but we haven't seen these amazing Death Blossoms that we've seen from time to time. So it really feels like not having the McCree has sort of hampered Boise State's second DPS, and I think that's where the Broncos sort of struggled there on that escort map.
For sure. Then now they come out here choosing the Eichenwald, which is a small map but a tall map. This favors what the Broncos like to do a lot, and this is one that we put a fair amount of time into.
We'll see, just like UT Dallas winning the map they chose, we'll see if Boise State here on Eichenwald can win the map that they pick here. It is a best of 3 in this Nay Spring Series, so the winner of this map is going to be your series winner, so a lot of pressure on both teams. I'll be very curious to see what comps we see from both sides and what second DPS Boise State chooses to complement that May, because I think the May's been a great pick. I haven't liked the Doomfist pick we saw earlier, and the Reaper I think had some struggles as well. So we'll have to see here as the teams come up. Looks like Boise State actually going to go with the Pharmacy comp and then the Hanzo there as well. I do like that pick. Very limited hit scan on the side of UT Dallas, and they are already suffering for that. Icy Rolex, he is going ground fair right now, and he doesn't even have to pay for it. Almost getting a punch elimination onto Stasis, and Boise State just cleaning shop there.
That is not what UT Dallas expected at all, and they got worked. They tried to play inside, which is their win condition, but we just beat them in rotation and just tore them up early. Still, no switches.
Well, they did get it looks like a late switch there, maybe on Jukebox switching over to that Diva, trying to get some sort of aerial pressure onto Icy Rolex, who, oh, by the way, 99% already. As you see there is Jukebox up in the air. The barrage is set. If he can find a good way, going to commit it, he will get one pick and then go down. That barrage sometimes a very tricky ultimate to get off, but Boise State might not even need Icy Rolex. They do get a pick onto Louis as well. Amplification Matrix is going to be committed there by Asu. It doesn't look like UT Dallas really has many plans to take this fight right now, so that should allow Icy Rolex to get back.
You know, the problem there, and unfortunately we could have probably got another 2 kills. It's still a fight win, but it did not look like the Broncos were in position to follow up on that, and every ult requires follow-up.
Yeah, we'll see if Icy Rolex can put as much pressure as he had last time. Day going to start the fight, though, with his own Coalescence Immortality Field forced out from Asu. As we see there, Modern Frost trying to do what he can. Stace is going to pick up a couple of eliminations, and now Boise State, unfortunately, looks like they might just be cleaned up here on the point. 4 members going to go down. Guac and Pyros, the 2 tanks, trying to do what they can. Looks like they will fall, so a great job there rebounding by UT Dallas, and I'm going to guess Boise State going to just have to allow the payload to start pushing.
They're going to have to allow the payload to start pushing, and that's fine. I mean, you know, first point holds are really, really rare, but target focus was a problem in that last fight. We got separated. Nobody turned the Reaper, and the Reaper actually is the one who did the most damage there. Look at that ult ready to go.
Yeah, great job by that Reaper getting in the face of Modern Frost on that Hanzo. Does have the Dragon Strike available, as we also see Icy Rolex putting in some chip damage from behind, trying to put on whatever member of UT Dallas is pushing the payload, put some pressure on them, also divide the forces up, make UT Dallas look from both sides there. As you can see, Boise State also sieging on the high ground here. We'll see who wants to start the fight. Asu has been forced to use his Immortality Field. As soon as it goes down, the Death Blossom comes out and he goes down. Stasis will fall, but Pyros going to have to pay for that. The Mech and Jukebox go down, so Boise State doing a great job holding it in a 4v4 until the res comes out onto Pyros. So the Broncos now have to feel very confident there. We're going to see the sound barrier used by Kinetic. Hello forced to commit the Blizzard. Barrage in on the back line, though, just gets one, and Hello able to get elimination on both the Pharah and the Mercy. Immortality Field not going to save them, immediately taken down by Stasis. UT Dallas has done a great job finding out those Immortality Fields. Look like Boise State might have to give up a fight that you felt they really had a great chance to win as Guac gets frozen. Really good job by UT Dallas stalling that out for the respawns to come in and allowing Boise State to maybe bait themselves into what they thought was a win and end up losing.
Yep, and again, a barrage used with very, very little follow-up because the Broncos weren't in position. That's kind of a solo queue thing that happens. In these team games, you've got to be able to follow up on those to get any value out of those ults.
Yeah, Jukebox going to get up on the front line there and pressure Icy Rolex. We are going to see the Coalescence come down there. They are going to trade kills. Diva Bomb going to be committed there. 2 members down on both sides right now. The Stasis has fallen. He has been a thorn in Boise State's side, so we'll see if the Broncos can punish him for that. Modern Frost used the Dragon Strike, not going to land onto anyone. Guac will get res with the Valkyrie committed by Nerdy Bird and Boise State. They have a bunch of low health bars, but they have not been able to get many eliminations. Hello going to use the Blizzard, as we're going to see multiple members for Boise State start to go down, and it really feels like Boise State, once UT Dallas has hit that 20% mark on their health bars, everything just sort of stopped, and that's when the fights have turned around.
And that's you're very keen to notice that. That's the target focus or lack thereof for the Broncos. They get into those fights, they get scattered, they pick different targets. That's why pre-fight prioritization of the target is so critical. Where is this person? And we understand that they're a win condition. They got to be looking for the Reaper on this next fight. They got to be looking for the Moira on this next fight.
Well, with us in the castle, we are going to see a swap by IC Rolex onto that Junkrat. Immortality Field going to be committed. Great job by UT Dallas, immediately taking that one down. Day going to use another Coalescence. Amp Matrix available there for Asu. He will throw it down. Guac with their Gravitic Flux going to immediately use it. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he's going to get much more than a couple of half health bars for UT Dallas, as they've also committed the Supercharger. Pair of eliminations go out, one on each side. A huge Diva Bomb is going to land on Boise State with no shields there to stop it. Looks like the Broncos will get one feel-good elimination, but unfortunately with Guac respawning, he's going to go on to the Wrecking Ball, but he's not going to get there. UT Dallas really unstopped after those first engagements, going to be able to push and get all 3 points.
The amplification matrix was just a little bit too late in that situation here, and they were just not able to do anything special with it, unfortunately, and that's what ended up costing. Because we're not playing Nevada. What's this about? All right, we'll find out what's going on with the Monkeys vaccine, and we'll figure out what's going on.
Well, right now, one thing we do know, doesn't matter who we're playing, Boise State needs a win right here, and at least I guess I should say they need 3 points to start to force overtime, because they are up against it. This is Game 3 of a best-of-3 in the NACE Overwatch Spring Series between UT Dallas and Boise State. The Comets coming out strong on Eichenwald, getting all 3 points with 2 minutes and 48 seconds into the bank. Fish and Doc on the call. And I'm going to be very curious. Boise State's got to come out with something. They've got to go quick. They've got to have almost organized chaos. You've got to be fast. You've got to take crazy fights, but you can't get sloppy, because 2 minutes and 48 seconds is nothing to mess around with. They cannot afford to lose many fights.
They can't afford to lose really any fights. They've got to put themselves in a position. We talk about it all the time. They've got to never take a fair fight, right? You've got to always tip it in your favor. Here they go, setting up. They're looking to use that wall and maul strategy. And if we get separated, if we get long lines, this is going to be a very, very short map.
Yeah, I'll be curious. Doesn't look like UT Dallas wants to come back with that Pharah that really picked them apart, so we won't have to deal with that if you're a Boise State fan, but you will have to deal with them trying to do it without Baptiste, as Asu has not had a very great series, unfortunately. He has been the target of a lot of focus as a couple more members of Boise State go down, being chased into the spawn by UT Dallas, just burning off that precious seconds. Immortality Field forced to be committed there as IC Rolex respawns there. Did have the Zenyatta for a brief moment, but Nerdy Bird decides that did not work. Let's swap things up. And I will say once again, I'm not a huge fan of this Hanzo pick for Boise State. I don't think it had what they needed last time on defense. We'll see if it can change on attack.
I agree with you. It did not give them what they needed. There were just not enough picks. And if you're not getting the value, the problem is if he gets, part way as he is right now, he's getting, toward that ult, but then he goes down, and it's almost like, he doesn't have that ult charge. We got to be thinking about winning the first fight more than we are about winning the third.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've talked about the ground fair. I think that might rank up there with the melee Hanzo. Not something you see very often, trying to fight right on top of the point. I completely agree with you, Doc. We didn't see those picks. I think he saw one Dragon Strike, and the health bars didn't even move enough for me to notice. So I'm very shocked he stuck on it. But hey, there you go. That's why you play it. A huge pick onto Hello, who had the Blizzard available. We'll see if Boise State can immediately get onto the point here and try and win this 6v5. Day going to use the Coalescence there. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Gravitic Flux going to be committed. It will be a trade-off there. Stasis has done a great job just getting in Modern Frost's face. He will go down, but so will everyone else on Boise State. Pyros and Asu probably just going to jump off. They will do that. And shout out to Stasis. He realizes the last thing a Hanzo wants is a Reaper in his face, and he has tracked him down every time, forcing Modern Frost now to switch to his own Reaper.
So patient. He doesn't attack the first ones in there. He doesn't draw a lot of attention to himself, but then he's the silent killer in the back line. Nobody's calling turn Reaper. Otherwise, everybody would converge on him like he had gravity or something, but that's not happening for the Broncos.
Yeah, Supercharger committed by Louis there. Both of the Blizzards going to come out. Boise State going to get a couple of kills as the Coalescence there from Asu able to stabilize it. It has been a back-and-forth battle for Boise State as we see two members down on both sides. Great job by Kinetic using that sound barrier just before the Gravitic Flux hits the rest of his team. Respawn's coming out as IC Rolex falls. Boise State starting to run out of time here. Stasis gets a pick onto Asu. Will fall, though, but Boise State needs to get onto the point. They don't even have a tick, and we are almost almost down to a minute left. Icy Rolex going to swap over to the Tracer. Boise has to be very careful with that Death Blossom available as Stasis has respawned.
Yeah, they missed their window right there. They should have gone in down one. I don't know what kept them from doing it. It was actually even, but they could have taken the point at that point.
Supercharger committed by Pyros. Great job taking that out by Stasis. He's going to Death Blossom onto Modern Frost. Guac going to fall as well. Boise State just has not been able to find a consistent team fight here. They do lose 2 members. They should have enough time for maybe one more fight. We'll see if Icy Rolex can get any sort of damage as Asu going to jump off there. That's a pick Boise State did want to see. It's going to be a staggered respawn. This leaves Boise State with 1 opportunity, but they are going to have a pair of ultimates available.
Lucio will kind of stay in the background a little bit there just to help get that Tracer into position there. But this is going to be their last fight, and they're coming into it with a Coalescence and a freeze right in their face.
Both Coalescences come out. There comes the free sound barrier by Nerdybird, going to land onto everyone there. Day dropping very, very low. Stace able to get the first pick, though, onto Guac. Now it is a tied-up game. Good job there by Boise State getting a couple of eliminations, and it looks like the Broncos, as we tick into overtime here, might have finally found their groove. Looks like they are able to get that, and Boise State, by the skin of their teeth, able to get on and start pushing this payload.
It does not bode well, though. It's like winning your first fight when the other team is 99. You manage to put one together, but when you throw that many, you need to be able to win the first fight of a point or an engagement. You need to be able to win those first fights, and the only way to do that is to prioritize, to select targets, and for everyone to do their job to get that target. High ground is going to be a problem for the Broncos here.
Yeah, they swap over to the Hanzo, maybe to try and put some damage onto that high ground there. Looks like UT Dallas, though, more than comfortable meeting Boise State right on the payload jukebox. Going to commit the Gravitic Flux. 2 of them will go up for Boise State. Only 1 will come down as Modern Frost falls. Guac dropping very, very low. Kinetic has gone down. Boise State once again able to fairly trade most of the time. Hello will go down. Death Blossom committed. That's going to pick up both supports for Boise State. Pyros will fall in the aftermath. Guac will go down, and it really feels like Boise State and UT Dallas have been even on that first pick. We've seen a lot of 5v5s, but Boise State has not been very comfortable in the 5v5s, and that's when things usually go south.
Nope, it's that second target, getting onto that second target quicker, and UT Dallas is getting onto that second target much, much faster. And look at this, Boise State already taking poke going in there. You have to have your tanks at full value in that fight, and they're not. They're taking poke early.
Yeah, Supercharger and Coalescence going to come down. We do have the Death Blossom available for Boise State as well. Looks like Modern Frost really can't even find a great place to use it, though. Great job by UT Dallas to basically stall out those 2 ultimates. Modern Frost was in the middle of teleporting now. Going to drop the Death Blossom. Unfortunately, Kinetic with a perfectly timed sound barrier canceled out all of that damage. Stasis will fall. Great job by Icy Rolex getting a pick on today. Boise State now can hunt down these picks. Both tanks will jump off. And a great job there by Boise State. I thought Modern Frost would get caught teleporting, but he able to get that off and cancel out that entire sound barrier.
And you saw how coordinated UT Dallas is. Both of the tanks immediately off the bridge. They know that they can get a full fight here if they reset quickly, and they did. And this does not look well for the Broncos. Louis is going to get his bongo out early. It's going to be in a great spot. Yeah, there it is.
There's the Bongo. Gravitic Flux trying to answer it. Pyros already at half life there. Nerdybird's sound barrier going to come out just a bit too late to save him. Guac goes down as well as the Coalescence has come out. Blizzard was used as well there by Hello, and Boise State looks like in this final fight they aren't going to make it. We are into overtime. Pyros onto the Wrecking Ball, but that is a ton of distance to travel, and it looks like he's just not able to get there. Even if he did, I'm not sure how long he would have survived. So a great job by UT Dallas to hold on there. As you mentioned, Doc, the coordination, both the tanks jumping off the edge, knowing they could get another fight, and that second fight proved to be the difference as they will hold Boise State and they will win this Nace Spring series.
Yep, they're going to win the first one. The Broncos go 1-1 on the day. We expect every fight. What a great play right there. We expect every fight with UT Dallas to be a good one, and we're always happy to play them. We don't like this result. We saw great things in the early map, but honestly, they just they got their footing and they played faster, mentally faster than we did. They knew who they were going to fight, where they were going to fight. They used their abilities in the best way, which is how we beat them in the first map in just 2 turns. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say here for a closing thought, it just felt like Boise State almost was married to that Hanzo. They swapped over to it even on attack. It didn't feel like it got the value. I would just say bring the Reaper May. I mean, there's a reason it's called Blizzard Blossom. Just bring the Reaper May. UT Dallas played it effectively, but unfortunately Boise State, as you mentioned, not able to win that one. Still 1-1 on the day, and they even went to a Game 3. So UT Dallas, a top program in Overwatch. I'm sure we'll see them again, but even in the Boise State loss, we still had some spectacular plays from that. So we are going to wrap everything up here from that Overwatch series with a top 5 plays of the game.
And this is going to be a good one to see, too, because I know that there are going to be some good ones. There's probably going to be some UT Dallas in there as well.
Got to give the winner credit. When they win, you give them credit.
Absolutely.
Going to be used by Pyros as well. Boise State somehow holding on for dear life there. Gravitic Flux going to be committed by Guac. Gets an elimination as well. Stasis has the Death Blossom. Going to have to come in with something clutch there. He's not going to get it. And Boise State in one of the longer fights I have ever. Advantage here. Guac doing a great job. Icy Rolex going to be taken down. The Supercharger put down. Guac trying to do what he can to immediately take it down. Louis looks like he's the last one left on the point. Jukebox on the Diva can try and get back. He is going to get there along with Day on the Lucio. They both get frozen. Gravitic Flux committed there by Guac, able to slam them both down. Boise State now. Like they are able to get a huge pick on the day. Modern Frost able to use the Blizzard. Finally, Stasis using the Death Blossom there, going to get one. Eliminations really going back and forth there. Louis still has the Supercharger down. Looks like Boise State has not spotted it out yet. It will despawn. He will fall, though. Boise State now just trying to hunt the last remaining members. It was that Lucio. They should 70%. Looks like the Broncos trying to do what they can. Stasis going to commit the ball. We'll see if Boise State's maybe able to handle that and stall this fight. They're going to use the Valkyrie there. Immortality Field comes down, but it's not enough to save Ace2. Looks like Modern Frost is going to use the Blizzard Jukebox. Not able to eat that one up. Louis in the backline there does put down the Superchargers. Another res comes out. Icy, I think, had some struggles as well, so we'll have to see here as the teams come up. Looks like Boise State actually going to go with the Pharmacy comp and then the Hanzo there as well. I do like that pick. Very limited hit scan on the side of UT Dallas, and they are already suffering for that. Icy Rolex, he is going ground fair right now, and he doesn't even have to pay for it.
All right,
yeah, we are.
Yep. So back.
We're back here, and I think we have something real special here to wrap off the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, we are. So I'm waiting to hear in our ear from Notkoba if these folks are about ready to do it. Observer is set up and ready to go, but I'm not sure if we're quite ready to play. Hope we are. But you have been you've been very aware of the House Cup that we've been playing. What's the best way to describe it in your mind?
Well, we have, you could say, 4 teams. We have a League of Legends team, an Overwatch team, a Rocket League team, and we have Production, who are all very talented players. They all, of course, play these games because they have to know what cameras to pick, how to spectate it, and so we figured what better way to sort of wrap up the spring semester than to make all the teams play each other. Now, of course, it's not fair for our collegiate varsity League of Legends teams to play Overwatch in League of Legends, so we got to make everybody uncomfortable. So we put Overwatch and Rocket League on League of Legends last week, Rocket League with the resounding victory there, and now it's going to be League of Legends versus Production in Rocket League, a game that it's going to be very interesting to see here. I know Production, I've seen them playing it when I come into cast. I don't know how much the League of Legends players plays. That's a totally different beast for them. So I'm going to be curious to see how the League players respond to having to drive cars around and not just farming minions for 10 minutes.
Yeah, the farming of minions for 10 minutes is no early phase is going to be really, really interesting for sure.
Yeah, so it is Production versus League of Legends in Rocket League. And it's going to be a couple of familiar faces there. Of course, sometimes when they have the different game, their gamer tags change, so we'll do our best to identify who is playing where. But yeah, I'll be very curious to see, as someone who played some Rocket League, there is a big skill gap in playing on the ground and playing in the air. The aerials are where you start to lose me, so I'll be curious to see if any one player has mastered aerials. That team's going to win hands down. So I'll be curious to see if we see any sort of aerial play, or if it's sort of like, Bumblebee soccer at the 6-year-olds, where they're just all running around on the ground chasing the ball.
I think it's going to be a lot like Bumblebee soccer, honestly, if we're being 100%. Mostly because these squads have not had the opportunity to practice together, as I'm waiting for the lobby invite from our folks here. But they haven't had the chance to practice together, although they do play games together. They do, have those conversations. I just don't know that we're going to see. I just don't know. Honestly, I don't know what we're going to see.
Well, I do see in the chat, I can't get dopamine. Of course, he is one of our League of Legends players. I think he's on the team tonight, but we'll have to double check. He's picked to put it simple. Put ball net. I mean, that's how you do it. Put the ball in the back of the net. It's simple, right? Baynock, Cosmo Buster. Baynock, Cosmo Buster, you go down the list. Ace Pocket, LC Carl, Waiting, and Tacky Doo to give them all their shout-outs. They make it look easy. How hard could it be to put a ball in the back of the net? Exactly.
Exactly. It's exactly right. We have only that to, here's what will be really interesting. Now, we all remember very famously the Koba versus myself 1v1, and how I really just kind of handed that to him at the end with just a terrible flip. I had all the advantage, and I could not put it together. So it's a lot harder. Once you play the game, okay, will do. Okay, so quick question for you, Fish, as we get this put together here. What makes Rocket League so dang hard?
It really is the aerials that make it so hard, because driving on the ground is easy. I know when my buddies and I first picked up Rocket League, it was super simple. Drive around on the ground. It's a lot like soccer, which all of us played growing up. Put the ball in the back of the net. But once the aerials started coming in, once people started to realize, this boost, you can use it just more to then go really fast. You can use it to play off walls and dribble the ball midair. That's where the skill gap is just huge, and I think it's maybe even bigger than any other game, because you could have the best ground player in the world. If he can't fly, he is going to just look like an iron player to someone who can handle the ball in the air. So yeah, it's the aerials where everything starts to go crazy. Playing in this sort of indoor soccer environment where everything's live, that's where the game really gets just crazy.
It does get crazy. The other thing that I think is really tricky is understanding what view you're going to use, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing where you are spatially, right? So you get the ball view, and it doesn't matter where your car is, you can see that. Then there's the straight-on view where you've got to, basically find that ball in space and get to it. And it's easier to find targets that way, but it's a little bit harder to find the ball. What I can't get is when people are getting aerials, making these small, telemetric adjustments as they're using the ball cam view. So the ball's here, their car is here, and they're controlling it into that and getting the right angle. You watch Baynock play, it blows your mind. What Baynock can do is just ridiculous.
What Baynock can do is absolutely incredible. And I will say the one other thing about Rocket League, and we've talked about it, the rotations, the double commits, I wouldn't think we'd actually see a ton of those, even from players who aren't as experienced, because these are people who all work together. Of course, the League of Legends team, they should have the communication on the Rift. Hey, I've got this. Don't flash on the guy, whatever. And the production team, it's almost even more hectic. I've seen it sometimes. Hey, we got to go to this camera. All right, now we need this view. Can you give me this? It's the communication I'm actually not worried about, even in a foreign game, because these guys communicate in much more stressful environments than the Boise State House Cup of production versus League of Legends and Rocket League. So I would be shocked if we see a lot of double or triple commits from the team. I think communication is going to be the one strong.
All right, let's see what we get.
Well, it looks like as soon as...
And not Koba. And not Koba is the one who messed it up. I've just gotten that from production. that will be, we'll get this started here momentarily. So everyone will have to leave the match, stay within their parties. They'll rebuild it. Now, the good news is this happens all the time to our actual Rocket League players. They're very, very quick. The challenge will be, and maybe there's even some points that should be awarded, to can they reconstruct this match quickly. The Rocket League players, it happens all the time. Someone will DC and they'll have to remake, and they're fast. These guys, maybe not so much.
I will say you do know we are ending with Rocket League when it doesn't matter what team's playing, but the Stabobo chants are coming out in the chat. I don't to this day know how Stabobo has really grasped the Rocket League team like it has, but you know what? Stabobo indeed, Doc.
Stabobo. It's not as much a phrase as it is a way of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so it looks like on these teams, so you've got Can't Get Dopamine, Rob Pharisee, you've got Koba, who is, of course, Alex Moore, and I believe the third player is Joe. We'll find out here. On the production side, this is your team, by the way. I don't know that you can do this without some level of favoritism. We'll see.
Yeah, I got to root for production here. As we see, we have gotten in 50-50. Great job by Captain Star, able to push it down into the corner. Not Koba going to miss on that one. A huge double commit with as well. As we do see Ray going to put it up. Captain Star going to miss on it. Lovely, though, with the great Van there. Able to put a shot on goal, but Gibson able to save that one. Captain Star going to steal away from his own teammate. Koba now not able to track that one. Talked about the ball cam view there. We'll see if anyone can put the shot on the goal. Captain Star lining up a trio of whiffs, and Glovely back getting boost. Now going to have to play some defense.
Oh my goodness. Getting high off the wall there. Captain Star trying to make something happen. You know what? I said League of Legends. We're playing Overwatch. I should know this. I organized the dumb thing.
Hey, it's fantastic all the players Boise State has and the crazy things they can put on there. Looks like, there's an open net for production if they can do it. Ray trying to correct the ball, but Lynx with a great job still in front of the net though. Can someone put it home? Glovely can, and production takes the early lead. Great job by Ray there setting it up.
Ray doing a nice job just getting it in there. Glovely flying from where? Out of nowhere.
Production taking on the League of Legends team in our House Cup. Do not worry, this is not the Boise State Rocket League team that you know and love, but it's still some fun action. Looks like 50-50 ball ends up down in the Bronco corner there. Ray trying to play it off the roll, misjudges it just a bit. The ball goes screaming in front of the production net. Glovely chasing it down, knocked out of the way, but it looks like his own teammate. Lynx, though, his shot on goal. I thought the communication would be, on par, but we've seen a ton of double commits. It can still be tricky as we see two members with one man to beat for Captain Star. Can he set it up for a teammate? No. Gibson's going to put a long shot on goal. Glovely misses, unfortunately, and it is a tie game.
Lovely misses. That is Joe Gibson, by the way. Hitting it midfield. He gets a little bit of a spinner on it. A little bit too late on the block there. I've missed so many of those myself. That whiff feels personal.
Well, we'll see if Boise State can answer. A huge late start on the 50-50 for Glovely there. You do see Captain Star not able to play off the wall. Lynx there with a nice little shot up above the Bronco net. We have Koba charging in. He's going to put it home. And just like that, the Overwatch team starting off here with a huge lead.
Overwatch squad, actually, you're going to find this is production. My silence is trying to get that fixed on the back end, not Koba. Doing a nice job there.
Let's see here, 50-50 ball. Great job by Not Koba.
Right.
Yeah, I did see in the pre-notes, Not Koba trying to help out some of the teams, but Captain Star trying to dribble it home. Not Koba able to get the huge clear. Lynx now maybe going to set it up, running out of boost though. Has 0 left, maybe can correct. Captain Star though, able to push that one away above the net. Not Koba going to miss, so is Gibson, so will Captain Star again. Lovely going to get demoed by Not Koba. Right now, production trying to find those big clears, but it's an open net. Koba going to take advantage, and he's going to extend the Overwatch lead.
It's not actually Overwatch, it's League of Legends. I've screwed that up again. I saw Captain Star in there, and I just immediately put together that it was the Overwatch team. I can't be stopped or helped.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's Overwatch or League of Legends. They are winning in this House Cup here, having some fun to wrap up the day. We are going to see Gibson going to pop it up in the air. Glovely and Captain Star able to combine on that clear. Koba doing a cool 360 backflip for no apparent reason other than to just show off. This Lynx now going to clear it down. He is into the corner, plays it around Glovely. Great save, though, by Captain Star, keeping it in front of his own net as Gibson goes racing past. Captain Star puts it down. Open net. Unfortunately, he's out of boost. He might have a shot on goal. Great job, though, by Lynx, able to save that one.
League of Legends doing a nice job there. Joe Gibson, doing his mid lane best in the mid lane of this thing. This will be really interesting. Oh, that shot, Joe!
Yeah, but Joe making us think he's been practicing here just a little bit here. You see Koba setting it up. Gibson comes flying in. Nobody in the goal, and it's 4-1.
4-1. They've got to try to get. It's maybe out of reach here for production, but there is a chance that they can just catch up a little bit. Nice save by Glovely.
And Glovely knowing to hold back on the 50-50. Crazy things can happen. We see it all the time. Not Koba wants to keep it alive, though. Loses it, and nobody for production able to get. There's Captain Star. He's got the boost. One man to beat. It's Lynx.
Oh.
Lynx, though, with the huge save once again. The shutdown production. Ray going to miss on that one. Koba not able to get there. Glovely might have a chance. He's the last man to beat. Can he get back with full boost?
At this
he doesn't
level,
need it.
Though, no, he doesn't need it. But at this level, it's not just about being able to play, the ball around the goal. That was a nice shot by Koba. I don't know that it was intentional. It looked like he was going to pass it and came back. Well, that's quite a shot he made there. Maybe that was not his intent. Maybe he just wasn't ready to score.
You know what? You can see that these players, even though this isn't their game, they still have some of that natural skill that leads them to being varsity esports players in any game they pick up. Gibson with a nice bicycle there, unfortunately in the wrong direction as we have just a minute left. Looks like Ray lost that one just a little bit. Not Koba racing back. Glovely's got to use that boost, able to corral it there with that sick minivan right off the wall. Captain Star not able to get it. Bouncing in front of the net. Gibson going to miss. Koba with the follow-up. A trio of misses coming out. Captain Star finally able to clear it. Unfortunately, Ray and Glovely do run into each other.
Ray and Glovely running into each other. This might be a shot on goal. Yes! One more. This time it was Joe Gibson. I think that might be a hat trick for our guy. Not entirely sure. Maybe so. Possible.
I did see the hat trick icon come out.
Okay.
So let's throw the hats. I saw it come out there at the very end. Any hat trick worth celebrating here. We talk about 30 seconds for our normal Rocket League team to score a goal. I would think maybe the production team can find one here, but unfortunately, it does look like the League of Legends team is going to come away victorious in this one. Couple of misses. Gibson, unfortunately, going to miss on that one. Koba nearly puts it home, but Glovely with a huge save. Let's see if the production team can break this 5 straight goal streak. Nobody back in the goal. Captain Star just has to reroute Lynx, though. I'm going to be, Lynx might be a ringer, at least on the defensive end. He has had some huge saves as the ball touches the ground.
Now, he's not playing much in the aerial department. He's doing some other stuff. Oh, good. There's a ghost in the machine today. We won't worry about that. We'll bring it back here. It is the do you have a ringer, and are they able to do something? What's interesting is that they seem to be playing, at least on the League of Legends side, not normal rotations. It seems like Rob is just playing goalie. So they're not all moving around. I mean, they're playing more traditional 3v3 style here.
Yeah, Lynx has done a great job just sort of hanging back and letting Gibson and not Koba sort of take over on the offensive end, which there's nothing wrong with that strategy. I know when I first started out, that was the meta. You sort of just left somebody in the goal and made it a 2v3, and maybe you get a demo on him if you can. But yeah, no, great job by Lynx here. So I will say, if you want to say something for production, they got the first goal. So they are able to put together something. We'll just see if they can maybe get a couple more goals here. Do we have any official word doc? Is this best of 5, best of 3? We're just playing
until best of 5 in this case.
Okay.
Best of 5 in this case.
All right. Wanted to make sure I know when
we may encourage them to change it up a little bit as they get a little bit closer. So maybe game 3 will be a different game mode. maybe we'll encourage them to mix in a little bit of rumble just for our entertainment purely.
Any Rocket League is entertaining in the slightest there. We do get a nice little map change, at least changing it up just a bit there as the 50-50 goes back towards Glovely, not able to corral it, does it on the second chance though. One miss, but unfortunately Gibson able to get it there. Not Koba driving away from what was a great pass by his team, but he will corral. There's the centering pass, unfortunately no one there to follow it up.
Lynx actually has a pretty nice car here, which tells me he's playing a little bit more than running one of those stock tame cars like sometimes you see on the other. Oh, nice follow-up. Joe Gibson, I think that's his 4th goal of the day.
I do believe that is Gibson's fourth goal of the day. Great redirect. He even had the follow, but that wasn't going in. He was there, only man in the picture.
Only man in the picture. Let's see. I want to see not Koba. I want to see Glovely get a little bit of success here. Oh, the shot. No one contested it. Koba answers as requested. Just beats him to the middle, gets it up in the air, and that's a goal, right?
Yeah, that is a goal. Great communication. Lynx pulling off as well to allow Koba to hit that uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted. Okay, Sleepy Ray. Someone's got to get out there. Come on, production. Good contact there. It's on the orange side. They're going to get it high off the wall. Captain Star can make a play. Ooh, nice. Gets it centered. Anybody? Yep.
Glovely with the...
Yep, Glovely with the follow.
Yeah, the great follow-up there. See Captain Star bounces around Lynx, actually. That's some great play. Glovely comes in. Nice snipe there by Glovely, and the nice icon, of course.
Oh, I think League of Legends is shook now. We'll see how they do on this kickoff. Nice. Stays on the blue side. That is a win for League.
Great job by Lynx getting aerial there and stealing that corner boost. Maybe looks like he's going to go full back to his own goal just to protect it, playing that goalie role. Now going to push forward there. Lots of confusion in front of the production net. See if Gibson able to get it. Glovely able to push it off him right to Captain Star, but Lynx with a huge save. And now we see Gibson able to corral it. Captain Star expelling all of that boost, not quite able to get there. Ball bouncing around, Gibson pushing his own teammate out of the way. A couple of whiffs all around. Lynx finally able to corral it. That shot, though, should be stopped by a Sleepy Boy Ray. And a great job putting it all the way back towards the League of Legends side.
Ooh, the backflip by Jay Gibson. You know, Ray did a nice job there just clearing that ball. She's doing her job over there.
Yeah, it looks like Ray has taken that sort of goalie role that Lynx has played so well as Lynx elevates, misses on that one. Could be an open net opportunity for Boise State. Captain Star's just got to get a touch on it, and he does. Great job punishing Lynx for leaving his goal.
Lynx plays up a little bit. Do your job, Lynx. Do your job. Or Captain Star's going to do that to you all day. I mean, at a much slower rate than most people.
Hey, it doesn't matter how fast the ball goes in the back of the net as long as you get the explosion. 50-50 ricocheting right towards the production net. Glovely not able to get it. Can somebody charge in for the game? The go-ahead goal? Yes! Gibson able to get just enough pressure on that, just enough. 21 kilometers, but it doesn't matter. It's in the back of the net.
I think he hit it with his antenna only at the speed that it went in there, and he gets it.
Once again, League holding serve here, a 3-2 lead, but there's still plenty of time left as Lynx, the huge solo play. Glovely going to have to go back and corral. That one can't quite get it off the wall. Koba, though, launching it all the way across. Should allow production to at least get it clear, but Lynx going to keep the ball alive. Glovely going to be forced to make a great save here. Him and Captain Star combined for a huge clear.
Yeah, it pinches out, ends up on the orange side. That's what they want. Lynx a little bit late, gets kaboomed by Captain Star. That's filthy.
See if they can get a punish. Not Koba, though. Going to punish him right back, but Lynx misses. I think Gibson actually had to make a huge save to stop that one. Ray able to steal Koba's dribble. Lynx now down in the corner, passes it down, can maybe hold it, plays it around one, plays it to Koba, who misses. Ray now just able to corral it. Ball careens off another car, and a big boom going out from Captain Star once again.
Oh, nice shot, a little bit off. Lynx just playing mid there, just trying to return it back in front of the goal all the time. Koba not in a position really to do anything with it. If he was a real Rocket League player, he'd gotten up in the air.
Yeah, the aerial play has been a bit lacking on both sides. Understandable for teams maybe playing out of their element. Koba, though, puts a nice centering shot there.
Oh!
Gibson It's another hat trick. That's 2 games in a row as he finds the back of the net.
Yep, it's like he's trolling outside the dance at the end. He's looking for any breakups or just great opportunities just to close the deal and say, hey, my name's Joe.
He's done a great job so far. Unfortunately, this dance is far from over, Doc, as production has almost 2 minutes left on the clock to get right back in this. Lynx, though, doing a great job. Huge save there by Ray. Looks like Koba and Gibson can't quite find that one. Lynx, though, with plenty of boost to get back to it. Fakes on the ball. Huge play there. Double commit by the production side. Gibson able to corral it. Bounces it over a couple of his teammates. And it looks like Lynx, nice job by Captain Star, able to break that one up.
Nice job by Captain Star. They don't really seem to have, no, he can't do it. A good try by Gibson to get up an aerial. He gets exactly 0 points for the effort.
Yeah, it looks like, I will say good job for League to stalling out those last minutes. Now Gibson, he had a wide open net. He just whiffed on it. Pressure can get to you sometimes with a minute left on the clock. Production needing a quick goal here. An open shot. Lovely if he can get it clear. There's nobody back on net. League of Legends does not believe in defense right now.
Nope, they are just going all in. They want to get a big lead here. Captain Star almost had an opportunity. He just can't make contact with it. It's just not where he wants it.
No, but it looks like now Gibson, great. He gave up. He thought it was going in, actually hit the crossbar. Always got to follow up your shots. That time he doesn't need to. He's going to get some redemption. He
actually started the celebration when he missed it, and it just put him in the right position to just return it back to the middle.
Yeah, that's not the best look for him, but he did actually get the make good goal there, so it looks like, not Koba, huge save. I thought he was going to get another 50-50 goal there. Good job by Ray being back in position. Production looks like a bit of improvement, a 5-1 loss, maybe followed up by a 5-2 loss, but with a double demo coming out, maybe they can find another goal. Unfortunately, a miss there. Not Koba went for the huge demo, didn't connect, and with time ticking down, looks like the League of Legends team should go on to match point here in our House Cup.
They should go on to match point, but I'm going to ask them to make some changes here. So maybe you could, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of detail on how your interaction with the first House Cup match went.
Well, I think it has to be the best House Cup to date. We've had a couple of minor blowouts here when we saw Rocket League and Overwatch play League of Legends, and now here the production team maybe going to storm back. But yeah, we really kicked this all off. We had a huge break in the middle of one of our casts, and we decided Rocket League's all here, production's all here. Let's just have a nice little showdown on League of Legends. Let's really get this thing started off, and Rocket League went out to an early lead. I don't need to remind them of that. And unfortunately, a well-timed Ezreal True Shot Barrage stole the Baron. A pushing Udyr by Baratel was already at the mid inhibitor, and production with the fantastic Baron steal and teleport down mid lane strat actually was able to win a very contested first House Cup game. And I know I've seen in the chat several times, Rocket League, especially Baynock, are begging for a rematch. So we might have to give it to him as maybe the finale to the House Cup, because that has been the most epic one by far.
Most epic one by far. I don't know that everybody agrees with that, but maybe it's true. You stole one probably as production you shouldn't have stolen. It seemed like it was decided, but that's why you keep playing it, right? That's why you try to set up and steal Baron. Was there some prioritization given to who you were going to eliminate first?
No, we had no idea who we were going to eliminate. We just kind of said, let's go after whoever we can. We really went for the solo queue strat. We said, let's just win our lanes. Baratel in the jungle was like, I'm just going to try and farm and split push. So it was a lot of pressure. It was a solo queue environment for the production squad. It was win your lane and, we'll hope for the best in the end. And I will say, if we do run it back, Rocket League's got to watch out, because if we're still on quarantine, I'll have my own setup. I didn't have a working headset last time. I could not talk to my teammates. I could only hear them. So with my own setup, I know my headphones work. they're going to be in for some trouble because Fish is going to have some great calls for his team as well. So Rocket League might have to wait till we're going back to the Game Pants Arena when I'm caught off guard by some unfamiliar equipment.
Some unfamiliar equipment. That's an interesting way of describing it. I mean, you're around it like 3, 4, 5 nights a week.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
yeah.
I'm usually on the caster desk. I don't get to play with all the toys. So I will say,
So here's what's exciting. We're going to set the max death timer to 3 seconds. We're going to go snow day, and we're going to increase that penalty. Give us maybe a little bit different game. Snow day is super interesting because that puck moves so much faster than the ball does, and it really just doesn't spend much time up in the air.
Yeah, Snow Day actually, I would have said really complements both these teams' players because
nice
there's not a lot of aerial play involved. It just launch the puck down and go from there. So I do think Snow Day does favor them just a little bit in terms of exciting gameplay. May allow the production team to engineer a reverse sweep. I know Captain Star, I saw in the chat, guaranteeing a reverse sweep, which is something you never want to do. But they have a better chance here with Snow Day. Not a lot of aerial action. Unfortunately, you've got to win that 50-50. Koba, uncontested, able to get to that one.
Uncontested. They got to do a better job production on these kickoffs because they're putting themselves on the defense way too early.
Yeah, and once the kickoff goes down there, since you don't have the aerial clears here, production has sort of always been on the back end, but a great job. Looks like Captain Star maybe setting up Glovely. Puck in front of their net. Oh! I've seen balls more in the net that have not counted. I'm a little upset about this one going in that easily for Lynx.
Yeah, you know what? When you get high on that wall coming from the corner, it drops in there like an Oreo into the milk.
That reference just is going to annoy me because after this cast, I'm going to have to go get some Oreos and milk, Doc. I have stocked up for the quarantine. But the puck bouncing in front of the net of League of Legends Captain Star, not quite able to find it there. Glovely maybe able to keep it alive. Nope, good job by Gibson to sort of stall that out in the mid. Bouncing towards the production net, you can see Ray's gone for that goalie approach, but misses on the puck, and Koba drives it home.
Yeah, he wanted this one. Sets himself up in midfield. They don't clear it. He can just go in and take it. Candy from a baby. Cookie from a caster.
Okay, I'm about to, just try and find a way to, mute myself and get some Oreos right now. But maybe I'm rooting against the production reverse sweep as much as they're my own team so I can get some snacks as soon as possible. Right now, though, the production squad needs a big clear. Unfortunately, Gibson puts it home. And League of Legends, I'm starting to, I might call ringers out here because they're looking like players who've been playing for quite a while.
They do look like players. Now, I can confirm that Ray did install the game today.
Yeah, all I'm going to say as a member and a fan of production, I don't see a lot of default cars on the side of the League of Legends squad, and it looks like all default cars for the production squad is that one takes a wild hop. We talked about it. The puck in Snow Day can fly at some points, hits the ground and just flies out.
Yeah, the pinch behaves very differently with the puck, and to your point, yeah, you can tell. Usually a rip, like a recruit skin or something like that in League of Legends is when you're running the stock Octane, also known as the Stocktane. And I'm not seeing any Stocktanes. We've got some really nice unlocked skins and decals.
Yeah, I am, as a member of production, feeling a sort of way, but that's okay. I still believe in my squad. Not Koba going to miss on that one. Plenty of time for the comeback. Captain starts charging down. Lynx just barely pops it over him. Lovely, though. Going to be able to keep that one alive. Not going to choose to play it off the wall. Not Koba, though, with a great clear into the corner. Now Sleepy Boy Ray over pursuing just a bit. Huge demo, though. Gibson's going to pay, even if he doesn't get a goal here. He's looking for his third straight hat trick. Bit of a double commit there by the production squad, but Captains are trying to drive it home. Golovsky's just a bit ahead of that puck, and they'll have to retreat.
Oh, Ray very tentatively comes out. No one in goal! Sleepy Ray gets it right there.
Good job from the goalie position, plays it off Koba, a triple commit by the league team, and there's time left for a comeback.
Yeah, if this game was 10 minutes, maybe. We'll see. Let's just focus on the next goal. Ooh, a little bit late. Yeah, I like it.
Captain Star there, great job. Couple of misses. Gibson reversing it towards his own goal. And it looks like that's an own goal. I don't care what the scoreboard says. That's an own goal on Knock.
So Captain Star touches it right there. It hits the wall. Lynx gets control. Captain Star misses it. That was from the touch from the kickoff.
Any way you can get them, you'll take them because you get that goal on the score sheet. So now Production inching closer and closer back as the puck goes up the boards, off the ceiling, and lands right in front of Glovely and Gibson. Both going to miss on that double goalie strap for Production, working out very well. Captain Star pursuing now. Great job reading that puck off the boards as it goes careening into the corner. Gibson able to stop it, though. Captain Star doing a little, you can see the improvement from these players as they play more and more games. Sleepy Boy Ray waiting back in the goal for any potential shot. Great job by Captain Star to get that save. Him and Glovely driving down Sleepy Boy Ray. Oh, a missed opportunity. Koba, though, goes flying right over the puck, and Glovely might be able to get a very needed clear.
Very needed clear indeed. Gibson not playing it off the wall particularly well. It's going to drop in the middle. First person to touch it might have value. Oh, Lynx tries to show that he can do some aerial work. Misses it entirely. The Oreo just flipping around there in the middle. If Production can actually get it down on the orange end, there's a really good chance they can put it in. This thing is almost has a gravity to the goal. It just gets sucked in a lot more in this. Ooh, nice Oreo sliding off the wall there. Gibson, what's he going to do with it? Oh, he's going to let it drop.
He's going to let it drop. Captain Star's going to center it up for his own team. Glovely puts it home, and Production's comeback is now 1 goal away.
Yep, Captain Star flips it out there. No one can get control of it. I'm telling you, the secret to this game is get it in the corner, get it moving toward the goal, and then knock it home.
Production now 1 goal down. Glovely, great job off the 50-50, winning that one. Lynx just able to get it there. Sleepy Boy Ray not able to corral that one. That means one man back. Captain Star with a great stop there.
Nice stop there, Captain Star against the wall there, not able to do much. Boy, this thing is just so squirrely they can't quite get much. Sleepy Boy Ray inadvertently 50-50 pinches that sucker, and it goes in. Koba just being aggressive makes it happen.
Yeah, just an awkward pinch, and even you can see the blue streak, meaning it was the last touch by a blue member, unfortunately. But yeah. Boise State, hey, the Production squad, worst case, they've improved by 1 goal every game. Best case, maybe they can put it in. Worst case, though, they allow a 6th goal, and not Koba gets the hat trick.
Not Koba with the hat trick. I reluctantly push the button so he can watch his hats fall. Sadness.
Sadness indeed for Production, but they still got a chance here. They might, if they can get a huge 50-50 goal, that would be fantastic. You see down in the corner, a minute left on match point in this best-of-5 House Cup for the League of Legends squad. Lynx going to keep that one alive, play it down. Glovely can't quite get it. One man to beat. Gibson going to bump his own player out of the way. But Lynx still gets credit, another hat trick for League of Legends.
Ray with the Olay block here. It just touched there. Ray is like, yes, I think I'll jump too. That'll get you out of the way of that thing. Good, your car is safe.
Looks like now Production's got to find a miracle in their pocket, and it doesn't start, unfortunately, by losing that 50-50. Ray, though, good job popping that one up in the air. Lynx, though, settling in, able to get a nice little carry on the net.
Oh,
and he puts it in the back of the net. That was a great carry by Lynx.
Yeah, I don't know that it was intentional. Well, maybe it was. Yeah, actually, he didn't actually get the trunk of his car onto that little flick to get it in, but he wanted to.
And now I think Production, maybe they can get a feel-good goal here, cut this deficit in half, but 30 seconds for 5 goals, and it's not a solo game, is going to be very hard. Sleepy Boy Ray.
Oh, no! Knowing Ray, she's going to be so frustrated with that. again, she's going to want to uninstall the game. But don't, Ray. Don't. We believe in you. The number of times I've done that, I can't even think.
It's so tricky. You think they're going to maybe do something crazy, and then they just push it right in. Ray doing a great job there in the goal. Globally, though, off the kickoff, he still has life and he still has a threat on him. He's going to put it in.
He's going to put it in. They're just confused. They don't know what to do. It is an own goal, but if you get it spin in that direction, you force them to make a mistake, you still win. You still score.
Yeah, you can still score. You can still find a way because the clock doesn't tick until the puck's touching the 50-50. Unfortunately, I think production would have needed a very quick goal there with 10 seconds left. They can maybe get a feel-good one here. Sleepy Boy Ray going to stay in the goal this time. Thought might go for the full map shot. Time ticking down on this puck. Going to probably very quickly touch the ground. Also can't keep it alive. And Boise State League of Legends going to, I believe, move to 1-0 in the House Cup here. They have yet to play anyone else, and production joining Rocket League at 1-1. So definitely something we want to keep doing through the rest of the spring semester, have some fun to wrap up the night. So great job by the League of Legends team. I'm still a bit miffed as a production fan myself about the lack of stock tank cars that you mentioned, Doc, but I'll give them credit where credit's due. They won. Good job to them.
They did win. It was a really good job to them, and this was a lot of fun having all these folks out here doing this today. It's pretty dang cool that we still get to do this based on everything that's going wrong in the world. But we're going to get back to normal. I got to spend some time in the arena today, kind of getting things put back together, starting to work towards stuff. Now, we've got something pretty exciting coming up next week, a week from tonight, that you get to participate in. And that specifically, that's it. Yeah, that was the last one. I'm getting the voice of production. That was 3 wins for League of Legends. So, I mean, they can continue to play. They can enjoy the heck out of this all they want. And we're not going to stop them. So, the interesting thing that's coming up next Thursday is that we are going to do Boise State football versus Boise State esports. 5 games. Ooh. 5 games. And there are some big donors that are going to be donating to the winner's scholarship fund.
Oh, that makes it even better. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. I'm so excited. I know from the football players I knew when I was at Boise State, they are hyper competitive in everything. I know the Mountain West for the Las Vegas Bowl had an esports event going on between the teams as well, between Boise State and the University of Washington. So I'm excited to see, set your calendars, set your, get the exclamation mark follow the exclamation mark free sub in the chat, because you want to make sure you're here April 30th for that.
Absolutely. Now you're going to be on the desk specifically with D-Mac, David McKenzie, famous Boise State personality. He also played quite a bit of D1 football for Boise State. He'll be your co-caster, really, really good guy. And there are going to be tons of guests that come through. I will not be one of the guests. So lots of cool stuff coming very, very soon. Next week on the 30th.
Yeah, but, don't just set your calendar and forget it. I know we're going to have a lot of action tomorrow coming up. I know we have some Hearthstone coming up. I know there's also Rainbow Six Friday that we've been having for a couple of weeks. It's also a lot of fun. I definitely went out and actually bought the game, played a little bit with Brenner Bear and some of the other members of the team to get a little more familiar with the game. So you definitely want to make sure you come back every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come back do your research every day during the week on the Boise State Esports channel. We always got something crazy going on. I can't wait till tomorrow, Doc.
I can't either. Thanks for everybody for joining us, and we'll see you real soon.